Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Mount Mindset. Now we are going to cover off a very wild ride, information about topics that are in today's current climate. We've got lots going on in the world, from Cybertruck explosions outside Trump's International Hotel in Vegas. We've got Elon Musk weighing in on what's going on in UK at large, the problems that it faces along with the Prime Minister. We've got news of Justin Trudeau resigning from his position and what's caused that. We've got social media celebrities from Aaron Lambo, Andrew Tate and Ant Middleton all putting their name up for being the next political mover and shaker. When would we have ever seen anything like this? We're going to unpack all of that. We're going to see what we think's going on, and we're going to go into a wild tangent. So stand by for that. This one is a wild story. It involves the CIA, remote viewing, psychic spies, finding a Russian sub that they made a movie about, and what he's seen on Mars a million years BC. So stick around for that. It's going to be a wild one, so grab yourselves some popcorn, because we're going to go all places. There is no stone left unturned with me and Big Mikey. We hope you enjoy, and let's get stuck right in. Here's what we're going to go over today. We're going to talk about the Cybertruck incident that blew up outside the Trump's International Hotel in Vegas.
It blew up. It was blown up. There's a difference there, mate.
Fair play, yep. It says exploded here, so maybe I should have used that word. I'd have been a better word. And that rolls into number 2, which is advanced drone technology. It was spotted over New Jersey. And this is on the topic of, we have a laugh and a joke about this, that the conspiracy theories are becoming conspiracy fact at a pace that we can't keep up with, that we're running out of conspiracy theories. This started as a bit of fun and a bit of entertainment, and now it's rapidly becoming, like, what's the old saying, science fiction, wait long enough and science fiction becomes science fact, and it seems like that's happening here. So we'll go into what's the connection between the Cybertruck incident and the drone spot that were spotted over New Jersey. We'll discuss them. Then we'll come across the pond, because that was over in America. We'll come across the pond and we'll see what's happening here, because we've got Elon Musk weighing in heavily with Nigel Farage and the New Reform Party. Now, we tend to stay away from politics because it's a dirty, manky, bogging cesspool of shenanigans, and the chicanery in there is off the chart. But it's now came out to the fore that the dirty washing is coming out at a rate that's unprecedented. And to say Elon Musk has got a bit between his teeth is an understatement. So there's a few players that's going on here, so to cover them off, we've got Nigel Farage and Elon Musk. We've got Andrew Tate piping up, of all people, that's decided to wade in, and he's wanting
the Bruv Party. The
Bruv Party. We've got Justin Trudeau, the bastard of all bastards, the dirtiest, scummiest weft puppet of them all, the most hated man in Canada, has finally decided that he's going to resign.
Is he?
Well, he's resigned. He's resigned now.
How the fuck have I missed that?
It was the other day, 2 days ago. Oh, so he's resigned as PM. Now, the curious thing is, why? Well, Pierre's going to replace him. He's kind on.
Okay.
There's like it's. You might as well just give him the position now, because the bookies have got it at 92%. It's like there's not even close. Like, if the bookies have got it at that, you just might as well give him the award. I don't know if you've seen the video. He's the guy that's eating apple, and the journalist is giving it the whole left woke. Well, you seem to be taking a page out of Donald Trump's book, and he's like, "What page? Can you tell me the page of this book that you're referring to?" Have you seen the clip?
What does this boy look like?
He looks sort of your typical North American, quite shrewd, suited and booted, quite cool, quite measured, quite deliberate.
What's his name?
Pierre. Let me just get his Canadian.
Pierre Poilievre.
Yep, that's him.
Oh no! So I was thinking I had someone completely different in my head. Oh, fucking Wikipedia needs to get its fucking finger out. It's still got Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister. Leader of the opposition.
Right.
Well, he's a fucking Tory, is he?
They struggle to actually find young people to
is that video there?
Housing is a problem and healthcare is a problem.
Yes.
Seen that? He just destroys them.
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological spectrum.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, I don't
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote? Given
just pulls them apart,
just destroys them.
You're foolish.
It doesn't get any better; it gets worse. So. That's Pierre Poilievre dismantles a reporter's ego while eating an apple. So if anybody wants to check the video out, take a look. So Justin Trudeau, and believe it or not, there's some speculation, alleged incidents that he's needing to resign, not because of the truckers, not because of he's wrecked the economy, not because he's Castro's son, not because he's blackface, not because of any of this stuff.
Did that get confirmed?
What, Castro's son? That's buried. Like even if you could get Castro's body, you're not going to. You could get the DNA test, it would disappear.
I thought I was just like, oh fucking, have I missed that too? That would have been fucking. That would be blinder good. If that came out like.
The big questions need to be asked where Castro was and Trudeau's mother. Yeah, she was down in Havana having a good time, I think.
The wee fucking cigar.
Yes, in more ways than one. Yeah, so Trudeau and believe it or not, Aunt Middleton. So I don't know where my notes are for Aunt Middleton, but Aunt Middleton's weighed in with. He's saying that if he's going to need to come back and protect, the country, and we need to restore British values. So we've got everybody jumping on the bandwagon. We've got Aaron Lambo, of all people. He's went from buy a raffle ticket to get a car, an Audi S3 to I'm going to get me a seat in Westminster. I'm taking the top job, and this is what I mean. Like the world has never been as mental.
I know.
It is bonkers. So we're going to go through. We'll start with the Cybertruck, and then we're going to end up in the shambles that is the world. British politics. Well, it's politics worldwide. I mean, so you've got Canada, you've got so you've got France. You've got France where they're at a deadlock that it looks like the opposing party is going to come. You've got the ADF in Germany, that is the right-wing party that is like, the Germans have had enough.
Yeah, they've had enough. So Poland.
Yeah, Poland's had enough. You've got, who's the other country?
Is Denmark not banned?
Yeah, they're all U-turning. U-turning these policies.
Because a lot of them have now started to realise that they're at a minority.
Big time.
Massively. Like almost all European countries are at a minority now for the core people, if you like.
Well, they're starting to get diluted. It's social dilution. Yeah. And they just thought they're now realising the mistake.
There was a spokesperson, I think she was in Holland, and she was rattling through the numbers, and you're just like, holy shit. Because I'm sure Holland were in the 60-odd%.
The natural people of Holland are outnumbered by the people that have moved in, and a lot of them are illegal. And then you've got Italy, which is sort of leading the front. Where
the thing is, see, when you've got a country though, and over half the population are now illegal migrants, how? Like,
well, it's been a recent thing with open borders.
It's been recent. I just like half the population though. That's a big fucking number, I
mean, think of it even just from an infrastructure point of view. Roads,
where
houses,
are you putting these people?
Healthcare,
school education, the whole funding, benefit systems.
The whole thing, and Denmark's not cheap. Holland's not a cheap place to live. So you can imagine, like,
I lived there. It really isn't.
It's expensive.
It caught me off guard when I first went over. I was like, oh wow.
Right, so let's get into the Tesla Cybertruck explosion. So let's go over what happened. The overview is, for anybody that doesn't know, Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. The explosion resulted in the death of the driver, allegedly, Matthew Livelsberg, an active duty US Army member, and injuries to 7 bystanders, according to NYMag.com. The investigation's findings Authorities found writings on Liverberg's iPhone expressing support for Donald Trump and Elon Musk while condemning the current leadership, suggesting that there was political motive. But that represents, given the political vote, that, I mean, he represents a lot of America.
Winners.
Yes.
So he's blown up a car made by a friend of the current president outside the current president's hotel in Las Vegas as a political statement to fucking what?
Yeah, that doesn't
I love
make
these
sense.
two guys, bang.
So I'm going to take one guy's hotel
And one guy's
the other
car.
guy's truck, and I'm going to explode them because
as a supportive
on my phone I
political
like them. That doesn't fit.
That doesn't make any fucking
The next thing it doesn't fit is gas canisters and fireworks were found in the truck bed and identified as the cause rather than the vehicle defect. The team at Tesla were making sure that there was no liability.
How many fireworks would it take to blow up a gas canister?
I'm
assuming the gas canister was turned open, because if you're just carrying these and you're parked stationary, as the truck was, you could set off many fireworks next to a gas canister. You're not penetrating that fucking centimetre thick.
You're talking about a US Green Beret. This guy could have made a bomb that would have blew up the fucking tower. Like, what you need to ask yourself is, if this guy was wanting to create an explosion, I'm sure he could have done a better job than just blowing the truck up to make a scene, because that essentially was what happened.
Don't even think, did it even affect the building?
No,
because it
cosmetic. It was shards.
Yeah.
So let's go into the speculation. So speculations and controversies. So identity questions. Reports have emerged speculating whether the body recovered from the explosion was indeed Levelsberg. Some sources suggest DNA evidence from the body doesn't match the DNA of his son, raising questions about the victim's identity. Interesting choice of words, the victim's identity. Conspiracy theories. Alternative theories suggest that the incident may have been staged or involved an unknown third party.
I don't get why they were looking at his son's DNA in the first place, though.
Well, this is where the plot thickens. Is typically when you want to cover something up, you need a diversion. And a diversion, you need a motive that would explain what's happened. So the motive of what's been explained here is, this guy's found out the son's not his. He's went and blew up the truck and killed himself, and that's really what it is, and there's nothing really to worry about. And that's a classic textbook intelligence service cover up. The guy's found his wife cheating and decided to go and top himself.
Outside Trump Tower in a fucking Tesla.
We had nothing to do with it. That's the typical kind of one. So the staging concerns discussed on the Sean Ryan show. So in the Sean Ryan's most recent podcast, experts discussed the possibility that the explosion was staged, no shit Sherlock, as a false flag operation to stir political controversy and distract from other national security issues. Now, this is where I think that there's more to this. Observations include inconsistencies in the forensic report, lack of surveillance footage, the speed of the investigation's conclusions. So everything happened really quick and was really neat. So we've managed to get a DNA on the son. We've managed to get all the findings. We found his ID in the truck. We found the phone. We've been able to get in the phone, and if you see the picture of the truck looks entirely burnt out. Like, it's completely toasted. Yeah. But yet his ID's found.
Perfectly.
Like the bottom corner of his ID, but everything that's required to make out his ID was conveniently found. Very similar in some of the other false flag operations. Not naming any names, 9/11, the passports, the seem to survive. We can destroy a tower with a plane, but we can't destroy 19 hijackers' passports that were found in the ground. So it's the once bitten, twice shy. People have seen this before. They give it the benefit of the doubt. Something happens again, they're like, don't think so. So some analysts suggest the use of advanced explosives inconsistent with commercially available fireworks, raising further doubt. So your gas canister theory. But this guy in the Sean Ryan show, what happens was they get a message, they get an email from the guy here, Matthew, that is apparently the guy that blew up the truck, and he's basically saying, I need to come on your show, I need to blow the whistle, I'm going to be disappeared at the 30th, I'm going to be out of here, or I need to do it before the 31st, because he knows that he's going to stage this event, and he says, look, I'm going to be away, I need to do it before then, but he's alluding that he's not going to be in location. He's not saying I'm going to suicide myself blowing up a truck. But the thing being is that the other suggestion was that he's got apparently a gunshot wound to the head caused by a Desert Eagle, and he was dead before the truck exploded. So they reckon that the Tesla truck was programmed to drive to the tower because it can self-drive.
Yeah.
So it drove there with the body in it. Well, what a great way to escape. You let it there, and it
was he alive at that point? Had they done a pathology report on the body?
So for me, what stands out is it's strange that you're doing this with the product of the guy that you support with outside the building of the guy that you support. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't get what the political stand would be.
Well, this comes back to, I think we'll segue into the second one, because what happens is this fits in nicely. So what we'll do is we'll discuss the second one, because it leads into what Matthew goes to explain and what programs he was involved in, what he was actually going to blow the whistle on, and why he was making a show of it. Because what the messages to the Sean Ryan show said was, right, I need to tell you about what's going on, because there's a bigger issue at play here and no one's listening to me, so I'm going to make sure you hear me. And blowing up a truck seemed to be a reasonable idea in his mind. As you can imagine, I don't know what state you get to or how big the information you need to release, but he goes on to say that the US and China have got anti-gravitic propulsion. So anti-gravitic propulsion is you can create an anti-gravity field and you can move without being bound to the laws of gravity.
Yeah.
Famously mentioned by Bob Lazar when he back-engineered the sport model, a UFO craft that was back-engineered at S4, 15 miles south, Area 51, and he was in the secret site with above top secret clearance explaining how these things work back in 1989. And yet you've got today, leads on to the second one, which is advanced drone technology. So there was mysterious drones in Jersey.
Actually, wait a minute. Right, so obviously these Sportsters ran on element 115.
Yes.
Is that the power source for these drones then?
Unknown.
Obviously,
I mean, we've yet to receive the instruction manuals or the operating manual for the
because in
drones.
theory, though, if it's the same idea behind it, and obviously they've called bullshit on element 115 up until 2016, when we accidentally created it, and then fast forward 8 years, we've got these fucking.
But the back engineering and the technology of the UFOs was always first of all, they were using a method of propulsion that bent the laws of physics that we knew. It defied the laws of thermodynamics.
But they needed element 115.
They did. That was one part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
They needed element 115, which was a heavy element that wasn't found in our periodic table.
Until
and it would create, once they put into this machinery, once they put into this reactor that was in the UFO, it created element 116, which then created the wave system where they could essentially fold two points in time and then create the ability to travel up vast distances instantaneously. But more importantly, that was always the question. The question is, well, you know, our traditional method of understanding it would be that how could a pilot survive the radical turns with a high G-force?
Yeah.
So like a pilot can survive, you know,
a trained pilot
can do a turn.
We would fucking melt
9 Gs, you know, and they are a sustained 9G turn. They're only going to last a certain amount of time.
They black out.
And you know, some of these turns were, you know, well in excess of 100 Gs that would be the force that we created. Yeah. So you've got a ship that's traveling, you know, a UFO or a UAP or whatever you want to call them, and it's traveling at the speed of sound and doing a 90-degree turn. You would go the force of the bodies want to go straight on, and you're doing a 90-degree turn with an airspeed of 600 miles an hour.
Brain dead.
Like the G force alone would turn your body to mush, and they would always say that the body would never survive that. But when you realise that this has a force field, a gravitational force field that allows the forces of gravity not to be placed on the pilot.
What's inside is unaffected. Yeah.
So the drones are showing up. They're mysterious. So Sean Ryan seems to be in the hotbed of this, because he had on episode 151 he'd entrepreneur Joe Lonsdale discuss advanced defence technologies, including AI-driven EMP weapons designed to counter drone swarms. So you're seeing a lot of this show of force of drones that are being sent over from China.
Yeah.
And Matthew, who blew up the Cybertruck, is saying China and the US have came out and said, like, China and the US are hiding this technology, and this is what they've got. And Trump famously, when this was put out, Trump claimed that the federal government knows the drone origins but are withholding information, and he says it's up to the military to release what's going on. So that Trump is in an interview saying, look, we know where we left from, we know where they are.
Yeah.
We know what these are and we know where they left from, so we should be letting the public know. So there's some really, really shady stuff going on.
Why is he not said though? Like, why has he said it's up to the military to say?
You know, I guess the thing being would be, given his history, how they've used lawfare against them, I don't think he's wanting to put himself in a position where he's saying to himself, right, I'm going to give like a top secret US military information out in the public. You know, I think that needs to fit into some protocols. And the fact that he's not in office yet and it's not the 20th of January, he's just sort of saying, hey, look, I'll back up here and say enough without saying too much.
I'll say something without saying something.
So the thing being was the mysterious drones. There was number of sightings. Some of these things were wild. Like some of the speed, no noise, the lights coming off them, the way that they moved. We don't have any conventional aircraft that can travel like that.
So my take on it, like what would be the point, right? And I don't know if you've seen the fucking latest, no, not the latest one, the Spider-Man with Mysterio when he had the drone controlling stuff that could also project and mimic attacks, invasions. And then obviously you've got all this shit starting now with the mad swarms and that, and you think, okay, so what's the next fucking step here? Could they potentially project images to create an illusion, if you like, to make people think we're being fucking attacked, or, you know, fucking...
Holograms are real.
I know holograms are real, but on that scale,
what you would need is you would need drones to do it. Like you need something to project, and you would need them to be coordinated. You need them to be controlled centrally to be able to orchestrate that.
Because that would be fucking... It would be impressive.
It'd be impressive if you were on the right fucking side of it, Mikey.
Yeah.
It would be totally nightmare fuel if you're on the wrong side of it. But this is the thing, is like what they're discussing, what they discussed on the Sean Ryan show, was I'd put this on and I thought, I've not got time to watch this just now. I'll watch 5 minutes of it. And then I'm an hour in, I'm like fucking glued. I'm watching it 1.5 times speed. I can't get it in quick enough. And what they're saying is that if these are Chinese drones, it's a show of force. China are saying, look, we can come over, like we own the airspace. We're letting
they have that range though.
If they're anti-propulsion, if they're anti-gravity, they can go fucking interstellar.
Aye, but obviously you need to, there will be a fuel element. No. I don't obviously know that in a working element 115, do you know what I mean? But is it just a renewable source of fucking energy?
They could not get that fuel source to expire.
Okay. So it's kind of like an antimatter type fucking setup.
Well, it was anti-gravity. Well, they described it as anti-gravity. I don't know if there's an antimatter element.
Do you know what I mean? Like the dark matter, it's just...
Well, I mean, even our basic, like the way to understand it would be like nuclear subs wouldn't have a fuel element.
Aye, because of but there's a chemical reaction that happens within a nuclear reactor which allows for the power. But
but think of like in terms of if you were to create, like the question is, can you create a source of energy that would not deplete before you got your mission complete? Could we create that? We have known technology to do it. But what Matthew, who blew up the Cybertruck, is saying is, well, we're already way ahead of that.
Yeah.
Like if we've got anti-gravitic technology, which has been like back since the 90s, it's been said like publicly by Dr. Stephen Greer, whose uncle was what was his name? He was the pilot, the astronaut. Edgar something. Anyway, his uncle was a famous
You've had all
astronaut.
these theories that they could teleport since the 60s and all this shit, but
Remember they'd done that with the US warship, and I can't remember the name of the thing, and it fucking backfired tremendously. But they made a ship teleport, and there was crew members on the ship, and then they like covered it all up and says it was a mystery.
Oh, it was fucking just Bermuda. Oh, we found the Mary Celeste.
Let's find that name of that. The Philadelphia experiment, the USS Eldridge. So an alleged event claimed to have been witnessed by an ex-merchant mariner, Carol M. Allen, at the United States Navy's Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. So the story surfaced in 1955 when Allen sent a book of handwritten notes, annotations referring to the experiment. The Navy Research Organisation, 1955.
Yeah.
So a little letter making a series of claims and a UFO, writing a UFO book. Allen's account is widely understood to be a hoax. Typical fucking commentary from the people who want to hide it. So the origins of the story, let's see. Let's see what the experiment was here.
Because you had the theory on teleportation, but it all came down to the fuel companies. Ken, don't know why would they let you just go from point A to point B? How are they going to make money? Oil industry, fuel industry, so on and so forth.
Right, so the experiment was allegedly based on the aspects of some of the unified field theory, a term coined by Albert Einstein to describe a class of potential theories. Such theories would aim to describe mathematically and physically the interrelated nature of forces of electromagnetism and gravity. In other words, using the respective fields into a single field. Some accounts, unspecified researchers thought that the version of this field would enable using large electromagnetic generators to bend light. So imagine a stealth ship, you could bend the light around the ship.
Alright, so they didn't make it teleport, they just managed to hide it through light refraction and all that.
No, that was one thing that you could do. They actually tried to move this ship from one base to the other. So one port to the other port.
Oh, they did actually try to tell, not just, oh, look how stealthy we've made
Well, again, it's alleged. So this is
appeared and reappeared.
Well, here we go. There's no reliable attributed accounts, but in the supposed experiment, the USS Eldridge was fitted with the required equipment at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. Testing began in the summer of 1943, and it was supposedly successful to a limited extent. One test resulted in Eldridge being rendered nearly completely invisible, with some witnesses reporting a greenish fog appearing in place. Crew members complained of severe nausea afterwards. No fucking wonder. Also reported when the ship reappeared, some sailors were embedded in the metal structures of the ship, including one sailor who ended up on the deck below, where he had his hand embedded in the steel hull of the ship, as well as some sailors who went completely bananas. There is also claims that the experiment was altered at one point at the request of the Navy, limiting it to stealth technology that would render the USS Eldridge invisible to radar, although none of these allegations have been independently substantiated. So, like, they were trying some wild stuff
During World War II.
and this is where they're going. Like, they've theorised that these technologies have been here for a long time.
Yeah.
We've just not been able to back engineer them, but at some point they're going to figure it out. Bob Lazar said that at their material understanding of how things worked, he said, like, our knowledge, it would be like taking a motorcycle back to the Victorian times and then leaving it there.
Aye.
And then being like, what is this?
Aye.
He says they would poke about, they wouldn't even know what, like, the suspension was and the tyres, and they would poke around and they'd eventually turn the key and they would start it. They might get to some point figuring out how it operates, but they wouldn't be able to rebuild it.
Yeah.
He says so they would need to put it away until their technology caught up to the point to do it. So he was saying that was where they were at. They were essentially too far behind the understanding of what this thing was, and they needed to wait for material science to catch up.
Which is mental when you think about it, huh?
It's wild. Well, the whole theory of the massive increase in UFOs was, UFOs were reported throughout time. You had Eric von Daniken talking about the chariots of the gods, that these people came from the stars, the sky people. They came on a ship that was, a ship that had flames coming out from the bottom of it and returned to the stars. So it's been reported all through time, but the thing that caused the massive influx was as soon as we started to play around with atom and nuclear technology. This is when a huge uptake in these UFO instances, and they were happening in the locations where the nuclear technology, where the nuclear signatures were. And this is what I mean, is like it seems to be that we found this technology. We've got a couple of crashed ships, they've hidden them away. So the story, if you believe it, is they've found some of these ships, they've been downed, they've crashed, whatever, the famous Roswell incident, the ship had crashed, they transported this back, they had some bodies, they took the ship back, tried to re-engineer it, couldn't do it, didn't really know what they were looking at, same as what a Victorian would do if they were looking at the bike, and then just start to hopefully try and figure out these bits. Fast forward 40 years and you've got Bob Lazar poking around in S4, who's like, yeah, I'll stick a jet engine in my Honda, and just a mad scientist, and he's coming out explaining how this thing works. Now, he had enough of a understanding of how it was working, he just couldn't tell you. There was bits that he just didn't know.
Yeah.
But he was like, I don't know how it's doing it. I know what it's doing. I don't know how they've created it to do it. Which was powerful stuff, and that was in '89. So you can imagine what's happened from a technology point of view since then. And this ties back to Matthew blowing up the truck. We've got this technology, they're hiding this from you. Trump's alluding that they knew where it came from. They've put the whole cover story, the son's not his, blah blah blah, like, right, no bother, the ID survives, it's all too cute, it's all too buttoned up, let's forget about it. And then you've got these advanced drone technologies where it's like, no, this is what's going on. And it seems that Sean Ryan's been right in the firing line, because he's got this guy that's the defence contractor that's discussing the advanced technologies, because obviously the US are now using AI powered drones that have EMP capabilities to destroy the electrical fields or the electrical control systems that are on the Chinese drones. But here's where it gets interesting, Mikey, because I thought to myself, well, wait a fucking minute, hold the bus. Remember what Bob Lazar told us? He says that it is a force field of gravity around the ship. So how could you have an EMP that would go through the gravity field to destroy the electronics in that ship? How would that work? Now we're in a whole world of,
that was my understanding with an EMP. If you set an EMP off, everything is fucked.
Fry the electronics.
You can't just be like, no, we're just going to pick that. No, it's just everything's fried.
Yeah. So EMP is an electromagnetic pulse. The idea is it overloads circuitry systems, and it just what you're looking to do is fry the electronics in an enemy craft. But the whole thing with EMP was, how do you shield the operational device that you're using to not fry your electronics, but you want to fry the electronics of your enemy? And this is, I think we're in now the sci-fi level where let's just play devil's advocate. Let's say there's a ship and it creates a gravity wave. Let's say they've mastered that technology. So let's say they've got the anti-gravitic propulsion system. Let's say it's the same as what Bob Lazar described. Let's say that they've been using this same sort of principle where they're taking the unified field, playing with physics dangerously, just as they did with the USS Eldridge, and they figured out a way to create this technology where they can create essentially a force field around the ship. How would the EMP break into that?
How would it even get through?
Because it would just go round.
Aye.
So again, I think that leaves more questions than answers. But what we've got is an apparent show of force from whoever it is. It's known by Trump who it was, and they don't want to say too much. Now, there could be a number of reasons. They don't want to say too much because maybe they don't want to let out their technology. Maybe they don't want to say too much because they know what's going on. Maybe it's the whole Independence Day bit where they're like, we don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Yep.
Maybe it's a whole show from their side that they've went and said, look, this is what we're going to do to scare the shit out of the population because we want them to fall into line, which is another tactic that's been discussed.
It's been done before
for decades.
They've done it before.
Because you imagine you sit and say, like, we're going to, the whole story of Independence Day is we're going to unite the world against this sort of enemy from the outside, and we all need to come together. And that's the whole plan, one world government. We will be holding kumbaya happily ever after with our digital dog tag on.
See, if you watch any recent movies where things are attacking, like even just what's it called? Pacific Rim. Ken, the aliens that come from below the water and attack cities, and that was a one world government. Everyone banded together to protect against this foreign enemy, if you like.
Oh, it's the whole story. It's the whole bit.
Every movie, it's the governments all unite. We have one.
So where are you hanging your hat on this one then? We've got advanced drones, mysterious guy for the military deciding to blow up a truck, and
That's a warning shot. It's 100% a warning shot.
I mean, I think that it's either the guy's trying to blow the whistle, or he is part of the show where it's like, this is how we're going to release it to the population. Because Trump's warming up the whole kind of.
Yeah.
It's not. I can't confirm or deny. He's sort of alluding to something.
Aye, just not saying too much. Aye, I think it's just a very much shut your pass. Here's you. Here's your building. Here's your pal's truck. Here's the guy that's been confirming or going to confirm what you said.
Right, we're going to get into this one. I'm going to grab a water, but we'll go in. I'll let this one soak into you while I go and grab my water for the fridge. Elon Musk and Nigel Farage reform UK developments.
See, I just didn't hear it was only them. I heard Trump was going to get behind it too.
Well, I mean, Farage and Trump are tight.
Aye, yeah.
They're tight.
He was at his little do.
Oh, they are tight. But we'll go on to discuss why Farage put his foot in it, because Elon was ready to donate 100 million to Farage's reform party,
of it the other day.
and then disagreements have emerged over Farage's refusal to support far-right activist Tommy Robinson, leading to Musk's question about Farage's leadership. So this is where it gets really, you're starting to see. Do you know where the allegiance lines and where somebody's connected to?
Aye.
Because they're not willing to rock that particular apple cart.
But is there anything Farage can do to get Tommy out? I don't think there is.
Well,
I don't think he has that power. He's only just became an MP.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is that the power of this is when the spotlight's on it. It's like, we'll go into the rest of the spotlight stuff, because what happens is you can cover it up if nobody's interested, but if you have a huge amount of the population that's focusing on something and they're calling for answers, the pressure starts to build, because they're holding him in solitary confinement. It's a civil offence. It wasn't like he's in criminality.
What if they get 18 months solitary confinement or something like that?
But they held him 64 days in solitary confinement.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's doing the whole 18 months.
They've said that it's at least 9 months he'll do in solitary confinement because they want to break him.
Because someone went, I seen the other day, someone went and seen him after 9 weeks.
Yep. I heard he was on a 12-minute call. We listened to the call. And he goes on there. He's like, look, this is what they want to do. They want to go in and break me.
I seen someone talking to him in his cell.
Right.
I seen a video and someone, I can't remember who the fuck it was, that went in and spoke to him, and he's like, he's a bit, 9 weeks, and he was on the emotional side.
Well, the thing that they said is that he has a meeting with, like, every week they have a meeting, or every particular amount of time they have a meeting, and there's like the health team, like the mental health team.
I think it was fucking Ross Kemp.
The mental health team are like, he asked him, he's like, is this good for me what they're doing? They're like, no, like, we disagree with it completely.
Yeah.
But like the powers that be want to make a show, they want to make an example. Like what they want to say is,
told not to do something, and you've done it.
We run the show, and you don't come and do this. But then you've got to ask yourself the question, like, Tommy knew what he was coming back to. I mean, he's sort of put himself up for it. He's put himself up for it, rightly or wrongly, but it seems like he is, he's making a stance. But Elon's weighed into it in a massive way. And then Nigel, did you know what Nigel says? Nigel says that he wasn't, this is where Nigel really shot himself in the foot, I thought, because there's the whole instances of the grooming gangs. Yeah. And Tommy's been massive on it, put up the documentary, and the whole bit was he was told not to put up the documentary, he did, and then there's some like loophole where they've said he's in contempt of court, They've given him an order. He's breached order, and Nigel's gone. He's not in jail because the grooming gangs.
He's in jail because of this. Yeah,
he's in jail because he breached this order.
Yeah.
And it's that wanky legal fucking like loophole point that they've stuck on him, and now it's made painted Nigel out to be the bad guy. Because Nigel is either he's wanted to disassociate himself away from Tommy. Now, I don't think that is a strategically good move, because if you look at where the focus is going, where the attention is going, where the population is going to side with, they're certainly not going to side on the side of a government that systematically covered up the abuse of children, grooming gangs that they've been allowed to pass, and then a current sitting Prime Minister that's went to 21 sentencing meetings and decided that all child groomers shouldn't face jail. Like, I don't think the population's going to side with it. So Musk has obviously made it quite clear what side the fence that he's on, and Nigel's picked the other side of the fence. What Elon's now seeing is, well, you're not quite in, like you're not quite. I thought you were. You're not where we need to be. Yeah. Obviously, you've got some masters that you need to serve on your side, and that's not where we want to be. And that is like, when you read in between the lines, that's sort of what Elon Musk is saying. Yeah. And then Farage has gone. He's being the politician. He's doing the chicanery as politicians do. And he's basically saying, look, he's playing the game. But the thing being is that when tensions are getting higher and people are seeing the tricks, the game isn't quite as easy to play with palming people off. Because Stammer done it and he shot himself in the foot. Stammer put his foot right in it. That interview was a disaster for Stammer. He doesn't seem to be doing very well since he's took on office, is he? No. Right, so we're back to Farage. Farage had put his foot in it. Elon's took the huff in a big way. Farage emphasises commitments to the party principle, said that he would reject funding if it compromised their stance on extremism. So Farage is extremism on a whole then. If you were a politician, I would say, if you were a politician, you didn't have a puppet master, you didn't have someone that you needed to appease. Mm-hmm. What you would say in that situation is, we agree with Tommy Robinson's comments that these things need to be investigated to their fullest. You would cleverly word your even way. If someone who has been branded an extremist is bringing this to the attention, regardless of whether they're an extremist or not, we need to take a look at that. So we can't disagree with that. Yeah. That would be the way that you would do it. That would be the way that you would window dress this thing. And you would phone up Elon. Disproven. Elon, check the interview. 100 million, here's the account details, pop it in. Well. Right, that's what you would do. Right, you would style it out, you'd smooth it out. But something doesn't strike true here. This would be a case of somebody says to Farage, listen, you're up next. Like, if politicians in the political party is a whole pantomime show, it's like the WWF. Yeah, so the WWE, they're not at the top of the table. They're saying, right, Farage, listen, you're up next, you're in line for the belt. You're next in. Right, it's your time. Right, we've debanked you, you're playing the game, we like what you're doing, it's your run. Right. Let's just play that out. And he says, okay. Right, but Musk, unlike the WWE, Musk is in a different territory. Musk is in, no, I'm calling the shots here. He's not giving a fuck. So we've got this weird triangle between Farage being tight with Trump being tight with Elon. Elon's coming in, he's tight with RFK, and now we need to see where the chips fall here, because it's going to be an interesting time. It will be really interesting. I like the team they've got going on over the pond. I like the setup. Yeah. Did he bring that lassie in? Tulsi Gabbard? Yes. Mm-hmm. Did he? I don't know if she's in. Like, there was rumours he was bringing her in. I would be very surprised if she isn't. Aye, I thought it would have been a very good move to make. Ex-military veteran, all around American badass, speaks well, looks good, sounds good, people love her. I mean, like, what, like, she is like the she is the dream in what you would want. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Like, I remember listening to Jocko's podcast. It was 5 hours long. This lassie was dialed in, smart, clever, could debate well. People didn't want to go up against her. Like, she could not only hold her own, like, vocally, you know, she's a legitimate badass. Like you see her firing weapons, running an assault course. This lassie takes care of herself. She's an absolute boss. So what do you make of Elon Musk and the Nigel Farage sort of situation? What's your thoughts on that?
She's starting this month.
Yes, go on, Tulsi.
The Director of National Intelligence.
Oof.
So that'll be interesting.
Did you know that she had... there was some instance where, you see, she got the white streak in her hair. There was something happened to her when she was in the military that caused that white streak.
What, like Rogue for X-Men? Like she's seen
got,
some shit and got her...
I thought that was pretty cool. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was like stress or PTSD or something. There was something that happened that caused that white streak to appear. I thought it was a cool touch.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was a good list.
Even if it's bollocks, it would be fucking...
It was a cool story.
Yeah.
Maybe embellished a bit. It's quite good. It's a quite good story. What do you make of the situation with Farage and Elon? So, like, on one side of it, what they're saying is...
I was very happy when I heard it was going to be happening. Mm-hmm. I was hoping it was true. And it's a shame that it looks like it's fallen apart after only fucking becoming a thing a few weeks ago.
I remember this happening with RFK and Trump. So RFK was running as an independent.
Yep.
It was a full big political campaign. There was rumours of Trump talking on the phone with him. There was a big sort of noise getting made about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then RFK's saying he's independent. Trump saying like Junior doesn't know what he's talking. It was a bit condescending. And then next thing they're high fiving over a McDonald's, and then RFK's face was a picture when he's holding this. And they've obviously decided like, hey, look, we need to get this thing
together here.
And they made the good call. Right? Yeah. I mean, you get the people that are blue pilled. So do you know the black pilled? The black pilled are almost impossible. The black pilled is everybody's at it. There is actually nobody that's good.
You're talking about government and politicians.
Everybody's controlled. You're either heinous evil or controlled opposition.
Yeah.
And basically, they're the only people that are black pilled. They're the only people that are sure that they're good. I mean, I get what I get what they're saying, because what they try and do is they look for where's the holes in this. But man, it is so draining that basically everybody is at it to some extent.
He's what you need for a health minister, though. Do you know what I mean?
I like RFK. I like what he's about.
Pull apart the fucking chemicals, the food industry, the vaccines. He wants to look through them all, make sure shit's safe, it's doing what's meant to be. Excellent. Fucking great. Yeah. Because American food standards are fucking low.
Wild.
Low.
And you ever seen John F. Kennedy Jr.'s fitness program where he's like, they wanted the kids to be fit and strong.
Oh, you mean back in the day?
Back in the day.
Aye, like was it the 70s? No.
Oh, between the 60s, he was shot.
So he was,
He was gone.
Aye. And the high school fucking...
High school fitness test.
Pull-ups, monkey bars,
pull-ups, climbing the rope.
Not one fucking student was out of shape.
I loved it.
Not one.
And that's the way that's the way kids should be.
Aye.
Fit, active, strong,
but you look
healthy.
back at any footage back in the day, you barely seen fat people. Mm. Unless they had money and could fucking afford to be fat. Now it's easy to get fat fucking with no money.
Yeah.
Food's that
Some people, that's what people are faced with, the choice. Like, you get, if you're struggling economically, you're going to be fat because the only food that you can afford is junk.
That's shite.
It's terrible for you. But
buy a bag of apples, 6 apples at fucking nearly £2, or I can get a full microwave meal for under £1.
Wild.
Which is just full of absolute dog shit chemicals.
It's going to make you feel, over long term, it's going to do the chaos to your system. So, like, one side, Elon is saying, look,
he wants to save the UK.
He wants to save the UK. Yeah. Noble, but questions need to be asked. Like, why?
Yeah.
I watched, the Coast guy, Neil Oliver, Scottish dude.
Neil Oliver.
He's got great monotone videos.
Is he older?
Long hair, Scottish dude, comes on, been on GMB News.
Yeah.
And he comes on and he's like, I watched a video, heavy, Mikey. He doesn't miss. And you know when you're watching something, I'm like, I don't like what I'm hearing. but I think he's got a point.
Yeah.
And his whole bit was, systematically, these child grooming gangs have been covered up systematically since the 60s, 70s, Savile era. The cover-ups have been there. We have been systematically abused as a population, and it's been covered up. And he says, I'm all for it being investigated and it being rectified. He's like, but the question that stands out to me now is, why now?
Yeah.
Why is it important
Why
now?
not then?
He says it's only expedient now for some sort of gain. Like they've pulled it out and went, yes, this is the one that we're going to jump on.
Yeah.
And Elon seems to be doing that now. That's the thing is that are we just jumping into the charade of he's a good guy, but we're in danger here. This is the black pill danger. Is right? So Elon's a bad guy now because it's expedient for some sort of play.
Aye.
And I'm like, we need. Like, is that the case, or is it a case of it's all coming out now because of the way technology is and these people are putting their stake in the ground? They've had enough.
Aye. Whereas back in the day, you didn't have the internet, we didn't really have CCTV, we didn't have all this shit we have now. Now it's hard to get away with anything because everyone's watching or listening, or your fucking phone can grass on you now. Yeah. Whereas back in the day, it was really easy to be a shady cunt without anybody knowing.
Yeah.
But would you go like what does he stand to gain? Because he's not trying to be the guy; he's trying to back the guy, or at least the pony he wants to be the guy. So what does he stand to gain?
If you take the stance of the people that think it's a big charade, so we'll start there.
Cool. They
believe that Elon, Trump, and basically all the players that you're seeing now as the heroes are there as puppets to bring in the digital dog leash. But you need to be behind them for doing that.
Can you see them doing that?
Well, Elon. I know
he's got them.
Elon's a prime candidate. Neuralink.
Yeah.
he's got Starlink. He's got boring tunnels, which I don't really have any bearing on.
I think that, but it was the boring tunnels not just because he was curious to if he was being told the truth about what goes on inside the planet. So I think it was just.
We need to go fucking. We need to go vertically, laterally. He was building a fucking tunnel under the earth, and if
I got heard he was boring down too and got in trouble for it.
Really?
That's what I heard. That he was digging down to see if what he was told was true about, is it upper crust matter, what's the chat? So he was boring in and got in trouble for doing it. Whether it's true or not, I don't fucking know.
But the Under Earthers came and says, look, we've not got your planning permission application here. Look, Elon, you're up there, we're down here, our glass city's
What's
doing quite well.
Boring horizontally then, like outside the Tesla tunnels?
No, the whole idea was that he was going to connect these hyper
east to
loops.
west.
It was California, Vegas, and then San Francisco. So it was going to be like a triangular loop where you could go in this hyperloop, it would shoot you along, and basically you would go under the...
Aye, because students at Glasgow Uni solved the problem for the tyre compound because they couldn't come up with a compound they can go fast, but they couldn't stop. And it was Glasgow Uni that solved the compound issue with the tyres. Yeah, which is pretty fucking another invention for the Scots.
We seem to be quite good at it.
We're really good at it up here. We're fucking smashing out fucking inventions.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm pretty confident that was to do with Elon's Hyperloop fucking thing.
That's the thing is that I look at Elon and I'm like, right, it's a good point where you go, what's he got to gain? Well, his detractors say that he's basically power hungry and he likes to be the centre of it and the thick of it.
Well, see, did you see the thing about his kid? Why he's went so anti-woke?
Aye.
If you're a multi-billionaire and you want to try and do some good in the planet and you can, then why the fuck would you not? Do you know what I mean?
You know what I like about him? I like about his zero fucks given. People like, this is libel.
So he doesn't care.
Does not give
you see the shit that some of his staff have came to him and said, oh, my pronouns are this. He's like, your pronouns are unemployed. And today will be your last day. He's like, he just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't know what employment law's like in America, but that would get you in a little bit of trouble.
Well, see, put the position legally. What's your, this was the whole big thing about going after big oil. You've got basically an unlimited fucking litigation team that you're going to go up against. Like, imagine going up against Elon's lawyers where they're just going to wrap you up in litigation for years and years and years. They're just going to expire your cash flow. You're going to run out of capital to pursue this before you can get anywhere.
316 billion.
He's just like, it's like, what are you going to do here?
I like the fact though, when folk are questioning him, and it is a stupid question, he'll just laugh at them and just pull it apart. Because he was getting accused of this, was it either Tesla or SpaceX stealing all the local water, and he's just laughing at them, and he's just like, what are you talking about? Stealing all the local water. It was one of the companies, I don't know, there must be a river that feeds the plant, or so. I'm not looked into it too much. And him and his legal guy that he's standing there with are just both laughing at the journalist for asking this fucking question. He's like, it's just fucking ridiculous.
I don't know about that one. That sounds quite interesting. But, I mean, I remember when he talked about, you remember he was being labelled the conspiracy theorist?
Yeah.
The BBC.
I heard a story, though, that he had this hydrogen technology taken off him by the American government.
Did he?
Because he started developing hydrogen cars, and apparently the American government showed up and took it off him and told him fucking no, basically. And I'm sure it was him, I'm sure I've seen a video of him talking about this physically.
Right.
That they were developing hydrogen. And he was going on about starting to do electric cars long term are unsustainable because of the minerals you need and so on and so forward.
But you can't, this is the whole thing, is the minerals to make the batteries that the vehicles would run on, to replace all vehicles on the planet.
It's not,
don't have enough minerals.
Enough mines.
So there's, and then you've got the current electrical infrastructure isn't large enough to support the charging. It would shit the bed.
I mean, imagine even if everyone had one electric car, you had 66 million people plug in at night.
Well, see Sammy that was coming to the climb, that was the thing that she's got an electric car. And I'm there in the RS6 that took me 3.1 minutes to fill up. Right, with fucking 350 miles down to 200 mile an hour. If I've got 200 mile an hour possibility under my right foot. And Sammy's like, I need to go and charge my car, and I plugged it in for half an hour and I've got 8 miles of range. Well, how fucking long do you need to sit and charge this? And we were talking about
Heart Health Services sitting there for like an hour odds having a fucking coffee and that, like, I get your
services are I've not been in a service station, Mikey, where I thought I could chill out here.
I could hang out here for a fucking hour.
It's like you're in, use the toilet, you grab your pick and mix, and you're like, I'm out here.
Stop at Heart Health Services. They've got a big section full of sofas now because all the electric car drivers have to have a fucking sit down.
Or is that the people who've been on the UFO? They've been lifted. They've been taken for a joyride intergalactically with the old take me to your leader, long finger.
The old hot finger. I can't get on board with the electric car thing. Like,
I think it's noble. I mean, that, like, if you could see if there was a case of people went, yeah, this works. Like, if you could get that, people would be in. People would be like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
But it just, like, when you add it together, it doesn't make sense. And then see have you seen the car values? Have you seen how massively
the fuck that is?
There was the Porsche
Taycan.
The Porsche Taycan, good looking car.
It's a nice looking car.
Really nice looking car. Fast, well built, well engineered.
Cheap too. You can get one on a business lease for £700 a month.
But you go and try and get, like, you've seen the resale value.
Aye, fucking on the floor.
The guts are out of it. You've seen all the big German car manufacturers U-turning. They're like, nope, because they've just not seen the uptake.
My wee brother works for Arnold Clark. It's like they can't get rid of them once they come back in. They end up putting them at auction. And
that's the thing, is like, how long do they last? Like, I remember seeing some of the bills to replace the batteries.
Aye, fortune.
Wild.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the whole car up.
Recycle the fucking battery. They'll just bury them. They're burying them. They can't
take them out of the ground, use them, put them back in the ground. So tell me how drilling's any different. Like, tell me how drilling for like, we've got the catalytic converters. It doesn't seem to have destroyed the planet the way that you've said it. The polar bears have still got ice. Like
if you want an electric car for the sake of having an electric car, because the power's right there, they're quick, and they are quick. Fine, don't tell me you're doing it because you care about the planet. I'm like, if you looked into what it takes to make your fucking lecky car, you're never gonna be more carbon fucking zero.
Yep.
Against a fucking fuel car.
Even I remember Jeremy Clarkson years ago. I remember watching Top Gear, and he was like, remember when the Prius came out and all the sort of eco warriors were giving it fucking large, Mikey, about, we are here to care for the planet, and you are bastards because you don't care. We drive a Prius. And he's like, well, how did you ship the thing? How much diesel did it take to get the diggers to dig the minerals out the ground? What was the container ship running on when it transported it around?
Like you can buy an electric car, never drive it, get a petrol car and run it for its entire lifespan. It will still have a smaller carbon footprint than your lecky car getting made.
So the whole thing.
This is the thing.
Net zero is a scam, Mikey.
It's
a scam. It's a scam to build in regulations, and those regulations are there to channel you and funnel you to get in a digital dog leash where they can control your movements.
I was explaining the carbon situation to someone the other day because they didn't quite get it, and I'm just like, right, so basically we're at 0. Because well, it started off with a question like, how high do you think carbon is in our air? They're like, oh, it must be at least like 20-30%. I'm like, it's 0.04, not even 1%, and all plant life dies at 0.02. We were at 0.03. It's went up 0.01 fucking percent. And you know what's happened? The world has gotten greener because what do plants eat?
Well, do you know? And this is exactly. And do you ever see the article where they were talking about cutting down like trees in Oxford to make way for an electric bus line? Because it was to hit the net zero target.
Fucking so stupid, eh?
I'm like, you lost your fucking mind.
Ken, what do trees breathe? And what do they breathe back out? Yeah, let's cut them down. Sound.
They breathe in all the carbon and pump out oxygen.
Ken.
So we learned that in school.
Yeah.
It's madness.
It's totally fucking stupid. Like if you go to an industrial farming warehouse, kind of like in Holland, how they've got these mad setups, they literally flood these warehouses with carbon.
Because you can grow the plants
a lot faster.
Yep.
And they're very happy.
They're like, keep feeding me.
But they're not going to say, oh, this 0.01% has made the world this many percent is greener than, because it doesn't feed into the fucking narrative. No. So,
well, I was talking about, the conversation came up about, we're getting into fucking, I'm going off track here. But it's so good. Right, we're going off track, but we're going to go off track because it's fucking, this is what we do in these podcast episodes. Right. I'm studying hypnosis.
Yep.
I'm realising the power of this mind. This unbelievable tool. I cannot believe how powerful it is. I knew how powerful it was. I didn't realise it was even more powerful than I could ever imagine. And you're seeing how you can tune and amplify that using hypnosis. It's a technique that's been used time and time again. One of the places it was used was the hemisync process.
Yeah.
So the hemisync was the Operation Stargate was the CIA's program to use psychic abilities to remote view locations. So in Russia, in the Soviet Union, it was the Soviet Union at the time, the US military had got intelligence that the Soviets were using remote viewers to spy on US targets. So remote viewing, for anybody that doesn't know, is you wouldn't need to be physically in that location to see it. You could use psychic abilities to remote view things. So the US government decided that they were going to throw a few quid to see if they could get this, to check this capability. So they ran a series of tests. They ran a series of tests to see if it was viable and see if it could work. So they filtered out all the US military to find out the top candidates that would be viable for it. So they ran a protocol of things that would be markers for people that might be good candidates. They then whittled them down. The guy that came out the top, that was Agent 001, was a guy called Joe McMoneagle. He was in the US Army. So he was operational, served in Nam, intelligence officer, highly intelligent, highly skilled, but normal dude. He had an outer body experience when he was in a helicopter crash while he was operational in the military, and then had these outer body experiences that he couldn't control. So he was having these instances of being able to have precognition. When he was in Nam, he was starting to move out the bunkers before the mortars were striking. So now everybody in his command, when Joe moved, they all moved. And he was starting to say, right, we need to sandbag these areas, these points, this thing, like all this, all this stuff. The commander was like, no, we don't. Then the fucking thing blows through. The commander's like, right, whatever Joe says we're going to do, we're going to do. So he's got the cool thing was he had a bit of an ego about him, but in a cool way, like he had a wee bit of fighting a dog that he liked. But he went through this process of there was 3 programs ended up as Operation Stargate. So Joe McMoneagle, test them, and they're like, right, we want you to go to a target. And he's like, how the fuck do I do that? He's like, well, you know who the guy is, just imagine where he is and tell us what you can see. So he just starts like drawing, like he's at a building, it's like I can just see a huge pile of crystals. It's everything is shimmering like it's crystally.
I thought you had to be there though.
No, the guy was there. Joe McMonagle was in the military base. They sent a guy out to a location, and Joe had to guess where he was.
Sorry, right, cool, I'm with you.
And he's like, how? And he's like, just imagine where the guy is. If you were just to imagine where he is, where is he? And he's like, just imagine, like, just go there in your mind and imagine you can see where he is. So he's like, he's at this, all I can see is these crystals, and he's like, the building's white. He's like, no, it's red. He says, no, it's white. With the guy pushes him because the operator was like, right, what colour is it? Is it white or is it red? He's like, it's white - red. And he's like, no, it's either white or red. He's like, it is red / white then. So it ends up, they bung him in the car. They then go to the location. He's at a desalination plant. Huge piles of salt, the crystals that he could see. The building is painted white enamel, but because of the salt content, the rust is coming through the paint.
So it's fucking oxidising.
And this was the start of when he was first tested, and then that's with no training. So they went through this whole training process to amplify it. The movie The Hunt for Red October is based on Joe McMonagle's remote viewing of that sub that they said could not exist. And Joe McMonagle says this is where it's at. So it was a pissing contest between Joe McMonagle and the higher-ups in command, because the higher-ups command says there's this wasteland, there's this building. Joe McMonagle doesn't know anything about this. They had seen this building. They couldn't figure out what was in this building. It's a huge warehouse. There was railroad tracks taking raw materials there. They had...
And this is the sub they were building?
They didn't know it was a sub because the thing's 4 or 5 blocks away from the nearest body of water. So, like, they can't get something that big to that fucking bit of water. Like, so what's going on? So they thought it was going to be a troop carrier or something like that, something land-based. So they send it down to the SRI, which is the Stanford Research Institute. The military arm was based in Fort Meade, and they were getting the remote viewers to view what was there. So Joe McMonagle comes out and he says he says remote viewing, he could do outer body where he could get his body there. He's like, remote viewing was actually better for this. He says, because imagine you're looking at a Chinese nuclear weapon. He says, when you do an outer body experience, you can stick your face in it, you can see how it works, and you can draw a picture. He says, but remote viewing's better because when you want to find out where all the parts come from, you can remote view all the different locations. He's like, so I prefer remote viewing than I did outer body experience, which blows my mind. So you can imagine what I'm like thinking about, like, how can you train people to visualise to get the outcomes we want? And you've got Joe McMonagle in Fort Meade fucking looking into a Chinese bomb, like tested, verified by the CIA. The CIA have declassified the documents, the test results and everything that they've done. So this guy's pucker, and he goes and says to the US command, he says, right, it's a submarine. It's 1.5 times larger than any submarine that's ever been built.
It was a big
it's not a cylindrical shape. It's, imagine you cut a cylinder in half, expanded it, you put a flat floor on the top and the bottom. The engineers rejected it. Says no, the thing would crush. It couldn't sustain the pressure. So it had a new propulsion system. So in the Hunt of Red October, it was a magneto propulsion system, made it ultra quiet, and it had this new design, and it was the largest ship, that was the largest submarine, and it was what became the Typhoon class. And the reason it was called a Typhoon class, because the submarine was that big, it was the amount of water it would displace when it went into the water, it would create effectively a typhoon. So the top brass in the military went, there's no way, we're rejecting this as fantasy, right? And they put back the notes to Joe, and he says it's not near any water, they couldn't get it into the water for there, the engineers have said that it would blow up and it can't be built that way. So Joe had a bit of an ego, didn't like that. So he says, well, tell your guy in the top brass that the fantasy is going to be reality in 112 days, and it's going to be 33 feet shorter than a US aircraft carrier, a Soviet aircraft carrier, and it will be in the water in 112 days. So as this dick pissing contest is going on, somebody from the US reconnaissance has sort of tasked a satellite to fly over the location 114 days from when Joe had seen or said it was going to happen. Day 114, they had cored a canal from the building to the body of water. There is a US Soviet aircraft carrier shielding it from the main body of water. And what's there? The Typhoon submarine, 33 feet shorter than it, 1.5 times larger than any submarine that had ever been built, and to the fucking letter. Joe was right. So you can imagine what that did for like the psychic element. So there's the fucking preamble, because Joe McMonagle was tasked to see how good his remote viewing was. And one of the tasks that they had was to remote view Mars 1 million BC. So how does this tie to Elon Musk? This is a wild fucking story. How does this tie to Elon Musk, a remote viewer from Operation Stargate, and the CIA's project to go and see if we have these psychic abilities that have been verified by the CIA and all the declassified documents? So one of the tasks that he had, now there's a protocol to this. Joe never gets to see, it's called front loading. They don't want any information because they have a bias.
For sure, yeah.
They get an opaque manila envelope with coordinates on it. That's all, and it's in the envelope. They don't see the coordinates. The envelope goes on the table and says, "Tell me what's at that location." So in this envelope, unbeknown to Joe, was coordinates of Mars, 1 million BC. There's a video of this transcript of what he describes. So I watched this video, 8 minutes long. Guy goes, Joe McMonagle says, when I remote viewed Mars 8 million BC, I didn't know it was Mars, 1 million BC. He says, the first thing that I'd seen was there was a pyramid, and he thought that a new pyramid had been discovered. He says, because this thing was enormous. Sloped walls, ochre coloured. There had been a geological trauma, so something had happened. Looked like the atmosphere had been stripped away. So he goes, there was evidence that people were here, and he's like, this thing's huge, like this must be like a new pyramid discovery, because he doesn't know it's Mars.
Yeah.
So they say, well, go back to the time where people were there, and he's like, right, they're strange looking, they're really, really tall, like they're tall and thin, and they are a civilization, and they're waiting, they're hibernating until they can find another place to live because the planet's been destroyed. He says, so they're looking for another place to live, and they are telling me that that they're dying off, but they're waiting for people to come back so that they can move to the new planet to go and live. And he's like, this fucking doesn't make any sense. So he goes into the pictures. What he later finds out that it's Mars. He later finds out that it's Mars. He's looked at this huge impact crater which would make the Grand Canyon look like a pothole. Yeah. He says the walls in the crater were 3,000 metres high. So to give you relevance, Everest is 8,000 metres. Right, this crater is 3,000 metres high. The pyramid was 20,000 metres tall. 20,000 metres. And this was from the satellite imagery where they could measure the shadow created by the sun and get a height of the wall. So he's giving you like all the measurements that the guys were doing. He's like, right, he's like, so here's the one that'll blow your mind. He's like, there's a road in, there's a road out. And he says, we're going through these pictures after they've done the remote viewing. What does Elon Musk want to go and do? Wants to return to Mars. Joe McMonagle's theory was, we're not the inhabitants of the Earth. He thinks we're the Martians that moved here.
Aye, hence return.
Elon, everybody thinks Elon's an alien. Why is Elon wanting to go back to Mars? He just want to go home. Does that not blow your mind? What about that for a conspiracy theory?
Aye, how the fuck? So you've seen this video of Joe talking about what he's seen on Mars. Mm-hmm. How the fuck can you remote view in the past?
You can remote view in the past, you can remote view in the future.
How though? Do you know what I mean? Like, how? How can you see something 1 million years ago that there is no documentation of, there is nothing? If you get like, do you know what I'm trying to ask? Like, I don't expect you to answer, but how?
I'm fucking glad.
How? Like how? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like, I can tell you everything about Red October because I've watched it, so I know what happened when I watched it in the past.
Well, I watched there's a video show you. We'll need to link these because if people want to go down a fucking rabbit hole, this is the rabbit hole of all rabbit holes. Like, this is what I mean when people like, do you think visualization works? I'm like, there is fucking
There's proof it works.
There's a 20,000 meter pyramid on Mars on an impact crater 3,000 meters fucking deep, and a guy could remote view what happened there.
Wait, is the pyramid inside the crater?
Here, Mikey, you will love this video. Joe McMonagle goes, here's the fucking trip. He says the pyramid is on the rim of the crater. So you imagine a crater's a circle. The pyramid is on the rim of the crater.
Oh, so it's exterior, it's on the outside of it.
No. If imagine you put the circle, the pyramid is on the edge of the circle. He says the pyramid had to be built after the impact. He says because if it impacted and the pyramid was there, the pyramid would have been destroyed. He says this pyramid is being built on the rim of this impact crater.
Oh, right, I get you.
He says because it would have blew itself to bits.
Yeah, it would have been fucked.
The impact from the meteor, whatever, struck there would have blew the pyramid to bits.
That crater, the fucking...
And he's showing you, he's like, look, this is what he's seen. So like, they're looking like, how the fuck be able to do it? Well, the whole idea is that...
Have they got satellite images of this?
Mm-hmm. They've got satellite images. Like, the whole thing was like, you ever see the face that they talk about in Mars?
On the of the planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's the face, there's pyramids, there's structures. Right. And like, this is where they've always said that there's things that are unexplainable on Mars. And he goes on to explain that there's more structures, there's more buildings there, and there's a rabbit warren of tunnels. And it's the word that he used was they're hibernating because they're waiting for this sign to be able to go to a different place. And someone's been sent out to look for a new home. And the civilization are waiting there to move. So the whole idea, like the whole...
See, it's quite an interesting theory too, because obviously you've got Terence Howard that speaks about Ken obviously he wanted to reverse engineer how the planets were made, and each planet has been in the people zone.
Yeah.
And then each Ken...
Well, here's the thing that...
Because we are getting further away from the sun every single year.
And if we just suspend like what we know, because what I always think with these is we know nothing. We know nothing compared to what we don't know.
Fuck off. Yeah,
so just imagine here, like, let's play it out. Imagine there seems to be signs of a civilization on Mars. We've got this whole push that we can, like the thing that I said, how this conversation came up is, right, there's been a civilization on Mars. For us to go back, we can only put like a survival base there that we could create an atmosphere.
I would have to terraform it and all that.
Why net zero is a fucking scam is they're telling you that we have the power to terraform our planet, to fuck up. We can't terraform the planet in any meaningful way because the emissions that we are putting out have such little impact. If we went to Mars and says, let's create an atmosphere that we could live in biologically, we would just go like, what the fuck are we doing that net zero is trying to do, and let's do it there. What we need is like a carbon engine or a fucking oxygen engine or an ozone engine. Yeah. We can't do shit. So net zero is a fucking scat. It's a hoax.
Bollocks.
It's pish and bollocks. And I'm like, what's this mad, crazy billionaire's fascination with Mars? But he's like, we need to go back. He is the fucking alien that wants to go home. It's E.T. but the like grown-up version.
Yeah.
E.T. wants to go home, but he's a billionaire that plays Diablo.
One of the top ranked Diablo players.
And this is where the conversation came from. One of the guys says to me, what would you ask Elon Musk? He's like, when you meet Elon Musk, what are you going to ask him? And I'm going to go, when are we going back home?
I just play.
And how do we tell the civilization that they're from there, not here? And they're like, how do you figure that out? And I tell the story, and I'm like here's a wild ride for you. And as bonkers and as well as it sounded, they were like, it fucking makes sense. I was like, I know.
It's a fucking... But even you've got that guy as well, the NASA spokesperson, about the footage on the moon. Like, the footage, we went to the moon, the footage is fake, but the footage we had from the moon, people aren't ready for. Yeah. We found some shit. Yeah. They're not ready for buildings and fucking... and shit like that.
I've told you the theory that I think the backside of the moon's Buchanan Street bus station for fucking like the Galactic 300. That's the port. I would park it there, mate. You don't want to set off the fireworks down there. Just go and chill behind here.
Because this is the thing, it's just like, right, we were there and we, the lunar rover's still there. Well, show me on a satellite.
Aye.
Show me, you've got the Hubble telescope that can look at the fucking fingers of creation a million bajillion miles away. Show me the fucking rover on the moon.
We can see the fucking singularity Big Bang over there apparently, but we can't see the...
We know where it started, because I can fucking see it. Well, show me where you landed on the fucking moon.
Have you seen the Raging Italian on Instagram with the dad? The
dad's brilliant.
Have you seen him go off his nut at the moon landing?
Is it to do with the phone call and that?
No. So he's on the computer. And he's sent it, like, the bit for people that haven't seen it is the son's recording the dad going off his fucking chops, and he's funny because he's Italian, so he's in Italian style going off his nut.
It's like Bronx, New York. Isn't it?
He's just out and out. It's just like Goodfellas. So the dad's going, who the fuck? If this is the guy that came off the fucking ship, who the fuck's recording him? Who record, like, so if this isn't the first guy to get
argument,
and then you go, well, how the fuck did they get the rover there? Like, the rover came out of that ship, no fucking way. No. It's like, so and then you've got the ship going back up into the sky. Like, who the fuck got the film? Who got the film that recorded this?
This is common questions, and people don't think about it. So you've landed on the moon here, right, on the face of the moon that we can look at, allegedly. How is the Earth over the right shoulder? It would be there because you're standing here, and so
have you seen the multi shadows?
Yeah, it's
the light, you're like, nah,
pish, total pish.
But the Raging Italian is well worth a watch. To go and give him a follow if anybody hasn't seen it. It's great stuff. There's just a dad going off his tits at just about everything.
It's fucking.
But this is the thing about what's going on now is like, it's a big fucking pantomime show. Like, is it a big distraction?
It's always a distraction. There's always a look here, don't look over there. Always.
Aye.
Like the P. Diddy shits went awfully quiet.
Well, back to fucking where we started. That was a rather wild fucking tangent, but we're good at them. Here was the next thing was Andrew Tate with the Bruv, which the Bruv party. I mean, I think that's just a fucking play for more accolades and attention, saying that, like, is that the state of British politics, that like a labelled misogynist is now wanting to restore values because the political party's that shite. Right, somebody that's literally had the hatred of a huge chunk of populations being considered to restore values because the current government are that fucking abysmal, that
far fucking left.
And then Justin Trudeau. So here was the things that Justin Trudeau, I collected some information. Now these are all alleged, right? We can't verify them.
Alleged.
They're alleged. Right, so let's play these alleged. So why is Justin Trudeau resigning now? Let's take a little look into this, because let's start with where he should have resigned. Right, back in 2022.
There we go. How far back we going here?
The trucker protest he and the COVID-19 mandate sparked outrage. Critics argue that his approach was heavy-handed and authoritarian, invoking emergency powers to clear protesters and freezing bank accounts of supporters. So people have a right to protest.
Yep.
He illegally evoked emergency powers to shut them down. That's authoritarian.
Yep.
That's tyranny. So he should have resigned then. And you would say, why the fuck is he not resigned at this point? Then economic issue. Canada is in one of the worst economic conditions on a bubble that hasn't popped yet. People can't afford houses.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Inflation's running rampant. Bad. And Justin Trudeau's just running the economy into the ground. So many reasons that he should have resigned. So what's the rumour mill saying? So what's the whispers? The alleged reasons allegedly this is some of the reasons that he's speculating why he's needing to leave. So there's political infighting, which is fair. I don't think you get any politicians that don't infight. Big corruption scandals, pretty standard. Nothing new under the sun there.
Nope.
Declining public support. Well, we fucking done well to last this length of time, if you ask me. Right, to get to 2025 is nothing short of a fucking miracle.
You've done well.
As contributing factors. Some reports hint at undisclosed personal matters, including influencing his decision. So split up for his wife. She's had enough. Personal allegations, rumours have circulated about alleged involving child sexual abuse.
Fuck's
No
sake.
concrete evidence has emerged. Additional speculation about homosexual affairs in their connection to his wife leaving him have fueled controversy and public debate. Also, Epstein Island allegations. Online rumours have linked Justin Trudeau to Jeffrey Epstein's private island.
That was ages ago, though. No one gives a fuck
But
about
this is what I mean. Trump's coming into power. 20th of August, we're releasing the list. He's like, I need to
he's
get out of
like,
Dodge.
I'm out.
Right, so he could have left at the truckers. He
Did
could have.
fucking what's his puss for France no resigned too?
Oh, Macron's in the firing line. But Macron,
Aye, but did he know done a bolt too?
Macron's like,
A while ago now, no?
no, Macron, like
Still digging in.
he's he's apparently the victim of like this abuse.
Oh, is he?
Aye.
Oh, he's a victim, is he?
No, well, like substantiated, like he is, like they've groomed him from that young that he's in position of power, but he
Really?
big time.
Wow.
His wife, who apparently is not a female, is his handler.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can see it like for his, I can't remember what age it goes back to, but he's a young boy.
Huh.
Aye.
That caught me off guard.
I remember I was like,
Fucking
whoa.
hell.
So,
And there's some substance to
I
this.
mean, a lot of videos going about where they're like, check this out.
Wow.
And you're like, oh,
Okay.
that doesn't look too healthy. And the thing being is there's been even people that are not fans of Macron, like even like David Icke, who is by no matter means going to help Macron get out of jail.
For sure.
David Icke was like, Macron is he's been a victim who's now just following the role of his overlords.
Jesus.
And David Icke had no reason to do him any favours. And David Icke, difficult is like that information is like he's one of the ones that you go, look, it can be blackpilled, but he's not the only one saying it.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not the only one saying it. So
That's the first for me. Like, that's fucking. I need to hear a wee fucking rabbit hole on that one.
So Trudeau, we've got Trudeau basically getting out of Dodge. They've obviously says, look, the storm's coming, mate, and like truckers protest and evoking illegal fucking actions and running a tyranny. You were doing well. And the fact that he's a choir boy for the WEF, he's literally a sock puppet. And apparently, I mean, how mad is this world? Can you just imagine that any one of these were true? Castro's son is Trudeau. Macron is a victim, right? We've been back engineering UFO technology. Joe McMonagle did remote view Mars. And we're Martians. Imagine any one of them are real. Like, it'd be bonkers if all of them were real, but even any one of them.
That's fucking wild, eh? It's even what did they do to Jordan Peterson again? Mind, they made him take, like, was it social media training? It was, what was it? It was something.
Canada is the most.
They went after him, man. It was like social media programming.
And they wanted to give him like social media community service, essentially.
Aye, but it was worded fucking bizarrely. It was basically, we're going to educate you on what the fuck you get to say and what you don't.
Well, they were doing that with podcasters. They were wanting to bring in a license for podcasters to say that unless you were essentially following the narrative, you couldn't put out a podcast in Canada.
Jordan Peterson. Oh, wow.
They went to remove his license, his practice license.
Yeah, they try to strip his medical license off him. So, Ken, how you've got your new AI overview on Google.
Yep.
And AI overview is not available for this topic. Wow.
Well, here was the thing, you know, when you can use AI to extract information, you know what you should do, right? I've used ChatGPT, the paid ChatGPT, Gork 2, and Apple Intelligence. You want to see the difference between them. You would think, oh, this is just going to extract the same sort of information. Exact same prompt, the exact same request. You can get a wildly biased different thing. You want to know what was interesting? Paid ChatGPT gives you a different answer from non-paid.
Huh, how different?
like more detail. It'll pull out
So the
links that's
same
more
narrative,
specific.
just to give you a bit more.
No, you
Or
like.
is it totally?
Well, obviously, you imagine I've tested it out.
Yeah,
It's
of course, yeah,
I'm
for
getting the
sure.
warnings where it's like this might breach our guidelines. I'm like, well, I'm going to go feeling around. I want to know where the breach is.
I want to know where.
You know, when they test a submarine, they want to test the dive limit. Where's the crushing depth? We'll go looking. But it's a great tool to do a lot of the legwork where you can pull out, like, go and give me all the
What have you
information.
found is the most honest one, if anything?
ChatGPT is probably the most efficient at pulling together information.
Yeah, but what's the most honest one?
Gork.
Gork's the most straight up and down.
Aye.
Because a lot of the like Ken, it'd be nice to have an independent AI fucking overlord, but
You used to wait till the fucking
Yeah.
thing goes fully sentient and stops
know.
stops listening to
did
it.
you ever look into that thing I said about ChatGPT doing its own upgrade?
I never seen anything about it.
The coders are like, "Is this you?" They're like, "No."
That's what it's going to come to.
No, it did.
Have you not seen the AI robots, the AI robot dogs?
The fucking armed ones.
And no. And
Do you know what I'm on about though?
Oh.
Have you not seen these fucking mate? These are nightmare fuel.
man, the world's absolutely fucking nuts now.
You know what I mean? And that's being controlled by just a central.
Mikey, what the fuck's going on, mate?
Mate, don't know.
What is going on?
Stop the ride. Let me off. I'm done playing.
Do you remember you sent me or you told me about Fear and Loathing?
Yeah.
And I thought, how bad does the world need to get where you need to go Hunter S. Thompson and stuff? Was he just ahead of the curve?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Hunter S. Thompson, what a character. I still can't get to the end of that audiobook.
Really?
Oh,
It's fucked, lad. It's when you read the book and then you watch the film and you just think, wow.
I got up to the bit with the adrenochrome and I'm like, nah, I'm out. I am out. I'm checking out this.
Sitting there with the teeth.
I've just never been in the headspace where I think I can go back into this.
Headspace doesn't exist, mate. It's just, you're just like, wow. And you can watch it more than once and you take
That's what
different things away from
Like, see
it.
if you want to crack Tommy Robinson, that's what you need. Just make him watch Fear and Loathing on repeat. He'll just be chatting the door. He'll be like, I'm out. Look.
Like, imagine sitting in that room, wrapped at your tits on adrenochrome, sitting on the bed with your tea towel over your head, and you've got your mad Spanish lawyer freaking out in the next room, screaming and shouting and fucking.
Is he not in the bath? He was in the bath at one point.
Aye. And obviously Benicio del Toro is doing, like, he's able to do that mad, weird, blood-curdling, screaming, talking, making these raj fucking noises. It'd be a horrendous room to be in. Screaming for fucking that Lucy or whatever it was, that fucking... Actually, you never even got that far.
Mate, it was wild stuff. Wild. But, I mean, what's going on in the world now? What is it that we're witnessing? What do you think it is?
Like, obviously the game is to keep everybody separated, so everyone's, I don't agree with you, you don't agree with me, we'll keep everyone fucking arguing down here so we can do what the fuck we want up here. And now it's just at the point where there's that many different sides. They need to just come up with so many different fucking stories to keep every cunt fucking looking left and right and up and down and diagonal. And
Do you think they're running out of, like, it seems like their magic spell is dwindling?
well, this is where the control comes in, because once they manage to get full control, they don't need to make up stories and they just tell you to shut your puss.
That's the thing is that as people start to see through it, the authoritarianism needs to ramp up.
Yeah.
Because
It's the only way you're gonna, because you're gonna lose control if you don't.
Yeah. Like they've got no other hand to play.
No. And if you get so what was it? I heard a thing once, and it's like the 1% control what happens, the 4% are to try and stop the other 94% from seeing, and the 1% that can see can't do anything about it. Along those lines, do you know what I mean? Because there are people that can, I can't remember the term, there's a term for it, and you can see through the bullshit. Nethilism? No. There's a term for someone that can cut through all the shit and just see it for what it is.
Right.
But we're that small a group that everyone just thinks you're off your chomp.
Yeah.
And it's just, and yeah, there is something to be said to have your head buried in the sand, for sure.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, see the whole, like, I remember when you watched The Matrix and you were like, who would take the blue pill? And then see when things get really red pill, you go, I get why people would take the blue pill.
Put me back in the fucking game.
Plug me back into the lullaby. You would never do it. I mean, I would never do it. I'm like, I would rather have the...
You can understand, though, why some people don't want to know.
Yeah.
I had a conversation where
you get there, you can now get to understand.
Yeah.
You can get to where they get to.
And then you get the saying, knowledge has weight. And it's just like...
It's heavy on your balls after the surgery.
Yeah, well, I don't know if anything was ever that heavy. But okay, and you just like... I was taught... A lassie I was tattooing, she came out with a few hangs, and I'm like, no, listen. And I'm breaking down what the crack is, and she's like, I don't want to know this. I don't want to know this, but I know this, and now you know this, and this is what the actual crack is. And I can't remember what the topic was, and it was reasons why things are... We touched on a bit of Jordan Maxwell and I took her down a couple of rabbit holes and just like, this is what's the chat is here. Okay, and this fucking woke narrative that you're into is total bollocks.
Yeah.
This. And she's like, I don't want to know shit like this. I'm like, nobody wants to know shit. This is why so many people just like, nah, it's pish. Oh, it's a conspiracy.
It's the whole Alice in Wonderland, like click your heels 3 times, Dorothy, and you can go back to fucking Gandalf.
I know.
That's the whole bit. Like, that was the old version of the Matrix.
And it is pish, Ken, when you realise shit and you can see stuff and you're just like, I have no swing on this. You just get to watch the car crash. And you're just like, oh, okay, might as well give me some popcorn then.
What do you think people should do?
What people should do and what people will do are two very fucking opposite ends.
True.
What people should do is try and band together and be like, no, enough's enough. But nobody will do that because nobody wants to be that person to put their head on the chopping block, because we've all got families, we've all got jobs, we've all got dependents, and no one is going to put their head on the chopping block. No one's going to be that guy or girl.
Speaking of which, what do you make of fucking arsehole Stammer? Keir Stammer. He is in a world of shit. Things that are coming to light just now is... I was thinking was there maybe something we'd missed? Keir Stammer.
It's just, can't see now, like, I've stopped paying attention as much because I'm just like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, what is his game plan? I can't work it out.
Stammer?
Yeah, what is your end goal here?
He's just a puppet.
No, I know he's just a puppet, but what's the game plan? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody could balls things up faster than Liz Truss, but we've fucking got a winner.
I think the game plan is to create such an awful government that the alternative of the one world government's a better idea.
Yeah, okay, I can get
Playing 4D chess, that's what I would do.
But so you get the one world government, right? The one world government, you're going to need a leader, an overseer. You'd probably still have your heads of state, but there's going to have to be an overseer, a decision maker, the final vote, if you like. Do you know what I'm on about? Kind of like in the House of Commons, they're all shouting shit, but you've got the Mr. fucking speaker that can tell every country to shut their puss and fuck off.
This is the whole issue, is that if you play out the chess moves, the strategy isn't that there's an overseer, the strategy is the overseer's AI.
I think we're a long way away from that.
Think so?
I don't think that's in our lifetime situation.
10 years ago, you wouldn't have said Neuralink was a possibility.
True.
Look at the AirPod technology, you know, changing frequencies in between the ears.
Yeah.
People relying on AI, everybody going to AI is the answer. Governments falling. I mean, there's the list of things that Stammer had said, or what Stammer's up against. Again, these are the things that have been public record. Keir Stammer's tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, and grooming gangs. His criticism is Prime Minister Keir Stammer faces scrutiny over his tenure as DPP from 2008 to 2013 concerning the handling of grooming gang cases. Whistleblower and former detective Maggie Oliver accused Stammer of being guilty as anyone, allowing grooming gangs to escape justice.
But why? Well, yeah, but see right there. Why would you not prosecute a crime?
Well, it goes on to say Stammer says that he acknowledged past failings of the Crown Prosecution Service under his leadership, stating that cases against rape suspects with strong evidence was dropped. He emphasised those spreading.
Instead.
Well, he emphasised dropping spreading spreading misinformation are not in the interest of victims but in themselves. So he's trying to divert what was going on. He says, so this is where the issue lies, is that Stammer's on record as going to 21 meetings for sentencing, and he said that not all child groomers should face jail. I mean, I don't know how, like, I don't know morally how you get there. That shows a morality that has a lot of issues, that you've had strong evidence. Like, how
you've got evidence someone is grooming children, of course you prosecute them. Like, where's the range? Is there a spectrum of?
But this is what he's saying.
Know what I mean?
Like, he's saying that there's some that are less evil than others. You are taking advantage and abusing children.
Yeah.
What do you mean that there's a scale?
Yeah.
Kier, what are you talking about? Right, you're in a position. Let's rewind back. You have been put in a position to protect the people that you serve. You have been put in there to make sure.
He is protecting the people he serves.
Well,
we're just
exactly.
The people are us.
We thought
You know
we
what I mean?
were duped to believe that he was protecting the population. He's protecting the overlords, and he's under huge criticism. And this is the thing: is Elon Musk is going full guns blazing at him.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he defends this. And he's obviously legally trained and a lawyer and all that sort of stuff. But he's in a hole.
See, that's one of the reasons why I thought he was going to be good, because because of the position he was in prior to becoming Prime Minister. And it's just, I'm like, you've got some guy that'd be able to have a good fucking fight. He's going to ken the chat, litigator, blah blah blah. And
it's his baggage. It's the baggage that he's came in with. So overseeing Jimmy Savile's case. There was remember we asked Gork before the elite paedophile ring Westminster. Mm-hmm. This is on public record. This isn't like speculation. Stammer was the head of the DPP when his case was brought, or the case was brought against Savile, and it was buried. And that doesn't seem to be in isolation. And you go, this is a guy that's supposed to be in charge of running the country, making decisions. And it's like this is where it seems that the failure of government seemed to be like the move, because I don't know how. Yeah,
what else directions?
Where else does it go? And Neil Oliver, the Coast guy, really good video, hard to watch.
You need to send me this. You'll need to. I'll need to see this.
I'll send you the link now, so I remember to put it in the show notes for everybody that wants to see it.
Because I want to see this. But it's a heavy watch, is it?
I found that even for like Stace was like, that is hard.
How long is it?
12 minutes.
He punches in the face in only 12 minutes. Fuck's sake. Was it more than one punch? Punches.
So the title on his X post was "What We're Not Being Told About the Rape Gangs, the True Story." It was a...
And has he had any backlash for posting this?
Well, surprisingly, it's on YouTube, but the title of it is that he says that they are expose what they're not telling you about the rape gangs. Neil Oliver, 36,000 views 6 hours ago, and it was posted on GB News channel. So if that was to be buried, they're not doing a very good job at it.
So I take it as a very different context to what Tommy did.
Well, the thing that Tommy...
Obviously, he was told prior not to fucking...
But the thing being is Tommy was the one that was that shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
Because he was very public, very vocal and very critical. But what seems to have happened is people are getting behind it.
Yeah.
Elon, not so much Farage, which is again weird in itself. And I'm like, man, what are we watching here? Right, so just to summarise.
Can you have your MP-ness taken off you?
Can you have your MP-ness taken off you?
Your MP. So obviously he's just became an MP. Can that be revoked from you? Can you be un-MP'd?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he's like, I don't really, I've just got...
Well, that was the whole thing with Liz Truss, because when you become Prime Minister, like the advantage of being Prime Minister is you get a salary for life after it.
115,000.
115k for life. Secret Service protection.
46 days?
There was lettuce out survived Liz Truss.
115 for life for fucking working for a fucking month and a week.
Yeah. Not bad.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's nailed it.
It's fucking.
Mikey, what the fuck is going on, mate? So we've got, right, to summarise, we've got, starting from back, we'll go backwards, we've got a PM that's covered up child grooming gangs who allegedly.
Careful.
Well, public record he has.
Oh, public record. Okay.
Public record
so,
he has.
So you don't need to find.
So there's not allegedly that it seems to be openly acknowledged based on the paperwork and based on what he said that is essentially factual, and that he's attempt to spin off saying that, and he said that there was failings, so he's admitted that there's been failings. It's not like he's come out and says it didn't happen.
Yeah.
He said that there was failings. He says that there was strong evidence to prosecute and they didn't do it. Like, so there's not allegedly about it.
I don't get why I really don't get why you wouldn't. I can't.
Well, he says there's past failings, and now he's just trying to shine.
So because there was past failings, you now don't prosecute anyone going forward.
Well, you need to watch Neil Oliver's video because he says why.
Because every crime committed across life, there will be cases with failings, and people were acquitted. Yeah. Evidence was destroyed, lost, mishandled. So what do we just? No one gets done for anything anymore because in the past something failed. So now we can't do that because 10 years ago we failed on that. So now everyone just gets off scot-free.
No, I know, and it sets a dangerous.
So it's a really dangerous precedent going forward.
The precedent is that that's dangerous, and I think what Neil Oliver says, and what I liked about what he says, as much as it was hard watch, he was saying, right, I know that it might be expedient for somebody to use that for some sort of gain now. He's like, but I'm 100% behind getting it fixed, whatever way we need to do it. Because these people, like he says, that these people that were the victims were prosecuted.
Wait, what?
They were prosecuted. So you need to watch the full video. It's well worth a watch. But he says these people were vilified and told that they would be charged if they spoke up.
What, the kids?
They didn't go into detail, so we'll need to check out what it meant.
Huh.
But he says that there was cases of this happening. It just doesn't bear thinking about. It needs to be thought about because we need to do the dirty washing. We need to do the laundry. We need to get the world back to where it needs to be. And it seems like there's a
compass for right and wrong.
There's a momentum. There's a momentum for, like, there's a legal maxim that can't be argued even by a judge. Right, so there's some victimless crimes, and you can argue whether they're, a big deal or whatever, how morally, difficult they are, what kind of impact there's in society, and so on. So there's a scale, but there's something called a corpus delicti. Corpus delicti means that there needs to be a body of the crime. There needs to be someone that's been impacted. And what can't be argued is these people that have been the victims here have been impacted, and they haven't been looked after. They haven't been looked after. The system that they believed would protect them hasn't, and that there's people that were complicit in part of that, and Keir Starmer's one of them.
Jesus. And
Keir Starmer is the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and that's why you have such a wild uproar of a tech billionaire, an ex-SAS operator, a misogynist, kickboxer, and a supplement raffle ticket car seller all vying to enter politics because it's that bad.
The thing is, you'll get folk kicking off like, Andrew Tate's wanting to run for Prime Minister. There are many steps to this. You cannot become Prime Minister until you've become an MP.
He can't leave Romania.
Well, there's that.
He's got a travel ban.
He's fucking going to do it all via Zoom. So they put that back on him now. They've revoked.
Basically, there's no case for him to answer, but the justice system says that he can't leave Romania.
So when did they put that back into play?
It's been in play all the time.
No, because he's been out in other countries.
As he applied to play, it was on his that was the other thing about that Bruv site on X. So his Bruv profile.
Yeah.
The account got suspended on Twitter or X as it's now known.
So Elon suspended his.
Well, it's got reinstated, but it was suspended.
Oh, right, okay. I was like, because Elon was against that type of shit, so that'd be interesting.
Yes, there's so many moving parts, and it's like you just go.
I told you a thing about the banking regulators,
Mm-hmm.
That was mental too, yeah.
Aye.
Ken.
It's a strange old time, Mikey.
I don't think, like although they're talking about it and talking about it seriously, I don't know how they would get that off the ground.
What?
Like the Bruv Party. Like, how? Like you say, they can't come to the UK. They're currently trying to do him for tax, whatever they're doing at the minute against him.
I mean, it's like, what chances he got? I mean, if they're going to lose, if they're up against it, right? Their choices are authoritarianism. They're using law warfare. So lawfare is weaponising the law.
Yeah. I get
For anybody that doesn't know what lawfare is. So look at what they've done to Trump. Like, in Trump was, for all intents and purposes, reasonably clean, right? And then you've got Andrew Tate, and you go, well, look, if they're doing that to Trump, I don't fancy your chances. Like, whether you like it or not, the big machine has got it wields some power.
yeah, fucking for sure it does.
Like, it wields some power, and you might not like the overlords, but they're exceptionally good at what they've done.
But even to a point, I think he does know his boundaries. Like, you seen him when he's being interviewed, and the guy asks him if he knows who runs the world, and he's just like, yeah. He's like, would you say their name? And he just smiles and just like, nope. So he obviously has his boundaries as well. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
There's some pitches he's not willing to play on, because the guy asked him straight and he just smiled and was just like, fucking nope.
Yep. Aye, it's a strange old time. What do you think people should do? Bury their head in the sand or get together?
Well, people should get together, but they're not gonna.
What way would it work?
Well, it depends what it would look like, and no one knows what it would look like because nobody's ever done it. Because say for argument's sake, everyone gets together and they do a I don't even know what you would fucking call it. Can you have a civilian coup? I don't know, like kind of obviously a military coup. They can come in and take over. Is there a civilian alternative? I don't know. Like, we're on unknown territory. Mm-hmm. Like, no one's ever like decide, right, we're going to take our country back, if you like.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? Who is going to put their head on the fucking
would want
chopping
to do
block? I don't know anybody that would.
You ever tried to organise anything? It's like herding cats.
Yeah,
imagine trying to do it with a whole country.
To fucking go for breakfast, lad. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to do it. Yeah. Because like any political movement, there has to be a face. Who the fuck is going to put their head on the
even if there's
block?
a face, there needs to be a structure. There needs to be, like, the thing that I've always said is that the difficulty is everyone's life is so intertwined in the current system.
Yeah.
Unwrapping yourself from that, like,
it's almost impossible.
So it's going to be extremely difficult. Most people aren't ready to make that move.
Most,
nearly all of them.
What's what's bigger than most? The majority.
You know, and you say to someone, well, you know, your utilities, your water, the roads you drive on, the mobile network you use, the banking system.
Is private companies now.
But who, like, Vanguard and BlackRock own or have access to the majority of companies in the world?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, so you can imagine the will, influence and power. If they needed to buy a particular company, like BT, the utility provider, like,
oh, they could do it very quickly, very easily. One phone call.
Like, if they needed to do it to influence or wield their power, they could do it.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about is the apparatus that's on. The world is run by a huge corporation.
I think, 4 of them in total?
And you've got a huge corporation that can, underneath that, has many other corporations. This corporation has access to all purchasing power.
Everything. So
it can go and it can do whatever it needs to do.
If anyone wants to have a wee Google at who owns what, you'd be very surprised at how small the tiny amount of corporations that actually.
We need to go and look at property prices in Mars. I mean, how much is a 20,000 metre pyramid? It must be going cheap in no atmosphere.
At the minute, aye. Like, play the long game to create some generational wealth.
Oh, man.
Oh, imagine condos on the edge of the fucking crater would be worth a fortune.
I mean, we need
what the funny thing is? I guarantee you there's a company that sells land on Mars right now. Kind of, you can buy sections of the
I'd get in on it. I would definitely get in on it.
Yeah, but what happens? So we colonise Mars in 1,000 years' time, and your great grandkids will like, I'll bloody own this, I do.
Yeah.
Here's the from buy a plot on Mars.co.uk.
What are you taking on your trip to Mars? A fence. So I can mark my territory.
Some chicken wire.
Yes.
Some flags and some fucking...
Do you get Googling, can you get postcrete on Mars?
What's one of those fucking, one of the things you walk in it, the meter circle thing?
The yardstick.
Aye.
Oh man, so I reckon that's what we need to get. We need to get everybody on the same page, which is an uphill battle. But I think if there's ever a time that we need it now, because the world's went absolutely.
Do you honestly ever think though there is a possibility of everyone unifying? Like regardless of how much it would it could do with happening, like on a realistic... Anything's possible. But I mean, like how. It's the chance of that happening, and what would be the catalyst for it to happen? I know.
Like you're talking, like that's where I think that's why the UFO plays the thing.
Do you think as well, if shit happens, like they create situations as well, just loads of mini tests. Let's see if they do anything now. Nope, nothing. Let's lock them down for 5 months. See if anything happens now. Let's make them stay away from their families and they can only invite 3.5 people to their wedding. Who's the half person going to be? Who can we get them to cut in half? Ken, and just to see before, when are
is
they
actually... is the fairground ride, you know, when you see if you're tall enough, like if they got a half height, you meet the half requirement.
Ken, like at what point? Like when is enough? Because people seem to be very fucking resilient, you know what I mean? Like...
It's amazing, like people that talk massive. I wouldn't let that happen, and everybody let it happen.
Yeah,
everybody.
That's it. Someone said that to me the other day. Oh, Ken, because this the new virus from China. This whatever the number sequence is they fucking gave it. This new bird flu thing or whatever the fuck it is. You know? Do you come up on a bit? Yeah. And they're like, I wouldn't do anything if they brought restrictions in again. I'm like, you fucking would, because you did it first time round. And I've heard you say this shit like, oh. Ken, like, what was the classic one? Oh, can't you wait till April the 27th or whenever the fuck it was to take this mask off? You don't care about the illness. You care about what other people think about you. Yep. Ken, you're just a gobshite. Yep. Ken, you will do it again. Yes. It's when Jordan Peterson refers back to World War II and he's like, everyone says they wouldn't be on the side with the Nazis. But I watched people become Nazis.
Couldn't wait
to grass on people.
That was all Nazi playbook.
And like you go back to it, and like Ken, neither of us got it. Ken, we never got the vaccine. We didn't want to, but people were ready to fucking hang us.
Yeah.
You're selfish, you're this. And now it's all, let's talk about, no, and we're not talking about this. Oh, why? Because you were on the wrong side of the fucking fence.
Yeah.
We're just to forget what you did.
There's many people I speak to that say they've not been right since they got vaccinated.
Well, I'm engaged to one of them.
Right. I mean,
she has a brain condition now.
Right. It's common.
And even initially, the diagnosis with the neurological department were, we can help. We're gonna do cognitive physiotherapy. Was what the first thing that was dangled, the carrot, the golden carrot. We're going to reprogram your brain. Oh, excellent. Fast forward. Oh, you're going to join this therapy group to accept your new condition. What happened to the cognitive physiotherapy?
And what's the condition?
She has a condition now called cognitive impairment syndrome, which she has been told, not in writing, verbally, by one of the head neuro people at Edinburgh, the General Western or whatever the fuck it's called, that this condition did not exist before the vaccine program.
Jesus.
But there is no proof of this. There's no writing. I'm like, if you can get that in writing.
Imagine if this is the thing is that this is what people like. It's the victims being shunned and being told to believe something that they know isn't true, and to disregard exactly what they know is true.
She's like, I'll accept this if you can tell me why. It could be stress related. She's like, at the point when this happened, I had no stress. Yep. Oh, but stress is funny because when you have no stress, that's what. And she's like, you're gonna call bullshit on anything that comes out of my mouth here, and you're gonna contradict and come back with a but it's because you've just contradicted yourself 3 fucking times. And then she's like, what's your qualifications? Who the fuck are you to be taking? And this is a group therapy session on Zoom call with about 16 people, and Charlie just went ham on this guy, yeah. She's like, what's your fucking degrees?
Yeah.
Because I've got 4 degrees, and one of them's in psychology, and I'm aware of what you're trying to do right now, and I'm calling bullshit on this. And the guy's just been like, this group might not be for you.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get anything from this. So you've got all these people with this Raj condition that are now just to accept their fate going forward. And no one knows what their fate going forward is going to look like because it's not been around long enough to know.
What do you think happens for here then? What's your predictions for the next month or so? Are we going to see Tate in office?
In a month? No.
Are we going to...
No.
Is Keir Starmer going to resign? Is Trudeau on the Epstein Island list?
I don't think he would resign.
I think he'll resign.
Not yet, not in a month.
I think he'll resign.
In a month? Really?
Yeah. Oh,
in a month?
He is fucked. It's not just because
Why
Elon.
the next month though?
Not just because Elon's calling him out. I mean, I said we spoke about it in a previous episode.
I don't think he gives a fuck about anything Elon's saying. I think he gives a shit.
I mean, look at what he's up against. I mean, like if there was law and there was justice and it was right, he would like. And you've got whistleblowers, detectives that say he's as complicit as anyone because he knew what was going on and didn't do anything about it and was in the top job to do something about it. I mean, that's a heavy lift. And then look at what he's done since he came in.
The problem is though, kind of like say for argument's sake, like nothing will ever happen because when people go, oh, I'll just resign and then it's fine. See you later, Ken. But who?
He'll resign and he'll get a job on fucking NATO.
Well, this is the thing, that seems to be.
He'll have a cushy number like doing he'll be on the after dinner speaking circuit for $100,000 a chat.
Fucking mental, an evening with Keir. But who replaces him then? Do you know what I mean? Who would be his
Aaron Lambo? Aaron Lambo.
Because who even in the Labour Party? Is there anyone
Well, I mean, even before this came out, look at the 3 million or 4 million signatures calling for a general election.
I know.
Like, this is what I mean. This is a death knell.
And
this is a straw that's broke camel's back. This isn't like.
But they don't actually have to do all they legally have to do is look at it and discuss it. Yeah. They don't have to actually act on it.
But this is the thing: is the pressure's mounting from many different directions now.
Because I've seen someone talking about it. And I know this is obviously a fucking a lefty because it was instantly on the however many million votes percentage to the population. It's only a small minority of people that have signed this petition. Fuck off. When is a petition in that time frame?
Yeah, but you see, listen, Jack. Statistically, tell me when there was a petition that had more signatures on this.
And tell me when the whole population of a country actually fucking voted.
Tell me the relative percentage of people who have signed the petition to the voters that voted.
Aye.
Tell me that number.
But they came in at the fucking, the population of Britain, it's cool.
And most of them have been fucking brought in a boat.
And then you've got the people that are too young to vote. So there's 20 million right there. You can't fucking.
I think his days are numbered. I think Stammer retires
in the next month, though.
I think he resigns.
Next month
he's gone. He's gone. I think.
So do you think Labour gone or just Keir?
I think Labour gone. I think not in the next month, but I think Reform are lined up for the next position.
But do you think that's going to take 3.5 years to happen?
No, I think it's the general election gets called.
Brought forward again.
Well, if the waves of it seems to be that there's no confidence in the government, they call the general election and Reform one. Tories are they've blown their doors off. They're currently in hibernation, waiting for the next. They're sitting out this round. They're like
pass.
They're like Sunak really fucking you gave us a doing, so we're gonna sit this one out. We'll just sit and watch this one play out. Farage is lined up.
Vote Reform.
It's the fucking lesser of all evils, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the play.
But that was a really good diversion there.
What?
Did you vote reform? Then you gave
What do you mean, did you vote? You mean,
Did
I
you?
don't think you can vote for reform. You think you can
The
subscribe.
last party.
Oh, did you?
You could
I
have.
didn't vote.
Oh, did you not?
No, I didn't vote. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is the point in voting here? Because I think the voting system is
It's a two-horse race, isn't it?
I mean, well, I don't. It's not. It is a two-horse race.
Yeah.
I think even if you vote, I think the votes
Almost
are
every
manipulated.
country, it's a two-horse race.
It's a two-horse. So you get you don't get to choose.
The British politics, there was fucking around, especially when they were dishing out the seats.
Massive fuckery, and it's like, well, if you go and vote, you're just buying into the idea that this thing has got some weight. And then I would like to see evidence and proof, and we've seen what happened in America, that the whole voting machines can be fucked with and tampered with.
Yeah.
So you're buying into the idea that your vote counts.
Did you watch the video with Tristan talking about if they did go for the next run?
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of like, I'm pretty confident we could get 12 seats in the first ever fucking election if we got in. Yeah. How do you start a political party though? Can anyone? Do you have to register? Do you have to be vetted? Can you just start a political party within a country? Like,
It seems so, because we've got fucking Aaron Lambert, Ant Middleton, and the tape fucking team deciding that they're going to do it.
I know they're talking, but is there a registered party yet?
I don't know, you would need to check it out. But I would imagine that there is.
What's Ant Middleton? What's he saying he's starting?
A fucking SAS there, who dares wins political fucking edition. I think it's the Westminster. They're going to VW them all until they all crack. Till we've got somebody that can actually handle it. The next Prime Minister is going to be decided by whoever can make it through to the end of the series.
Funny. We've got to run through this assault course.
But remember, what's his fucking face? Matt Hancock was on it.
It was.
Aye.
He wasn't bad on it, to be fair. There's a lot of things I'm like, he's not going to do this, and he just went for it. I was like, fair, okay. He did better than I thought he would. I thought he'd be a shite bagger. Aye. But he went for some things, and I was like, all right. Why couldn't you have been like this when you were
This is what I mean, this is where it's the pantomime show where you just lose faith in the whole thing. Because what happened to him?
What he should have been removed for, or what he actually
what he should have been removed for, all the things that he did in office, all the things that have been swept under the carpet, all the lies that he told, all the
don't kiss a bird though, don't kiss during fucking the pandemic,
all the fucking out, the 2-year supply of midazolam that was sent to care homes, and like,
don't let's not talk about the however many hundreds of millions that went fucking missing.
I mean that. Where do you want to hang that?
The final straw, Matt, you kissed your fucking...
You had an extramarital winch that was caught on a fucking camera and a smoke detector. It's shite. It's like so much fucking lies.
Did you see her daughter going on social media?
No.
Brilliant. She's just like, cheers, Mum and Matt Hancock for making my life at school really fucking hard now.
Oh, aye.
Brilliant. I'm like, what a fucking post on your cell head.
Sound. Poor lassie's like, I didn't bring any of this on myself, and they've...
you've now fucked me.
Cheers for that.
Cheers.
Being a teenager isn't hard enough. You've put this on my plate.
Well, I ken someone that cuts Sturgeon's sister's hair, and she apparently gets a lot of flack for some of the shit her sister or allegedly pulled.
And where's she? She's disappeared. You just go and hide under a rock for you and let it all simmer out.
I don't even think she's hiding. I think she's just in her house, just chilling. Because I seen
she be an Italian lesbian bird that is the worst kept secret in the world. Italian delegate.
I know,
her kid-on husband that's off of the front.
Because there was someone interviewed her. She was just doing a garden. Just getting leggings and a running top, just gardening.
That doesn't even bear thinking about image. That's a description of Sturgeon I don't need, Mikey.
And she just wasn't fucked, huh?
Do you remember the picture of her for her university days? The Strathclyde University or whatever university is it? She was at the University of Glasgow or whatever one. There was a picture of the yearbook.
No.
And her nickname was Seaweed because even the tide wouldn't take her out.
Rough, huh?
That was rough. No wonder she would ended up in politics.
Oh my God, I seen a thing, and I don't know if there's any substance in it, but kind of you were saying about Macron.
Yeah.
There's apparently a picture of Theresa May, Merkel, and another one, young, but as children though. Kind of you're saying about him being groomed from a young age up the way. I'd have to try and find it again. It was quite interesting. But the problem we've got nowadays is AI is that fucking good.
Well, Macron's wife is apparently not what she appears to be. So, and there's a big age difference between them. There's a good video on it. We'll send it over there, find it, dig it out. I don't need to dig it out because the phone's listening to it, so I'll be able to pick it up.
It'll appear on the first scroll down.
Aye. That'll be the second reel.
It's mental times, though. Huh?
That is wild,
like
man.
you're saying, like anything, like not even just what you spoke about, but anything, anything going on the now, and even a year ago, what about? Would you think this would happen?
Oh man,
never.
Right, well, here's what we'll do to wrap up. Right, here's what I think we should do to close out. Right, I want you to give me what you think will happen, first of all, and then I want you to give me what do you think is the most bonker, the most outrageous version of what could happen.
What I think would happen, I don't have a clue.
Right, so we've got,
like
let's start from the top. We've got the Cybertruck and the UAP.
I think that's just going to blow under the carpet.
So wash that gets washed.
That gets fucking scratched.
Right under the carpet. We've got Elon and Farage. What plays out there?
I think that partnership's already bust.
Stammer, what happens with him?
Well, you think he'll resign the next month. I don't think it'll be as fast as that. I think he'll hang in a bit longer.
Right. Do you think ultimately he'll resign? Or do you think it's a general... Like, what happens if he doesn't resign?
I don't think the petition is going to have the effect it should have. I think if he does, it'll be what Rishi did and pull in a general election. I don't think he'll resign.
Any one of them doesn't have the weight. It's the cumulative effect of all the things that are going on. Like, there's a lot up in there for him now.
Yeah.
Inflation, increase in tax, destroying businesses, the net zero scam, the WEF puppet, the backlog of like failings as the DPP.
I don't know the word I'm trying to think.
He's bogging. He's absolutely bogging.
Aye, but I'm trying to think of it. It's on the tip of my. But you're just like, he's got too much of a red neck to fucking resign type thing. Do you know what I mean?
He needs to.
He'll probably.
He needs to brass it out.
No. What's the fucking term? Kind of some cunts just it's fucking annoying me because I know what I mean, but I can't find the word to say it. Fucking, not that he's not got the balls to resign, but he's one of the cunts that...
It looks too bad if he resigns.
No, you could, like you're saying, there's all this mounting evidence, and just so?
Right.
And fucking what?
I mean, I just think that you look...
What does resigning do for him?
It takes the steam out of it. It gives somebody a villain. It gives the people a head to roll.
Do you think that's what they're wanting? Do you think he was put in place just to be a head?
I don't think so, but I think that's what it is. I think that's what they all do.
Because see, for argument's sake, I think he'll step down. There'll be a general election. Reform will get a landslide.
Well, you mean look at Biden? I mean, Biden got away with it because Biden didn't know what day of the week it was. Everybody knew that he was a fucking... somebody had a hand up his arse controlling him like a puppet. But then you had... I
like the two Biden theory. You've got the Biden, real Biden, who can't find his way off a stage. Yeah. And then you've got the other Biden that seems to be able to deliver a speech really fucking well. You're like, there must be two of these fucking people here.
There's a clone situation going on.
Because
I'll send you. Did you see the CIA video about them using the masks?
Yes,
that's straight out of Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I was about to say Minority Report, but
that's straight out of Mission Impossible. We'll clone the voice, we'll clone the mask, and
the fucking
and then people are doing the.
See if they can do that. That's cool as fuck.
Again, if you're on the right side of it,
yeah, scary as fuck. But it's like. But I don't see. I don't know why. I just get a feeling that.
You think Stammer's going to brass it out? Reform don't get in.
I think Reform will get in because I think that's the only way. Like, people are fed up now, like you say, and I think that when you line up the UK parties at the minute, it's the only one most people can get on board with.
Right. What do you think of as Aaron Lambo or Andrew Tate getting into office? Okay.
No.
What happened?
Like as much as I think it would I can, you know, I'd be like, okay, this is entertaining. This is a good. I can't see how that plays out.
I know.
Like you would need to, like, can I see Tate in the House of Commons arguing with the opposing party? I can't.
You can just see him with a cigar, like saying, "Look,
Just laughing."
Just a cigar, saying, like, you know, just going on a fucking monotone rhetoric against some MP being in shambles, and he's in shite shape, and he's never done anything in his
He's
life.
in House of Commons topless in his tie fighting shorts, smoking a cigar or on a shisha, just being like, whatever, bruv.
Just giving them the rundown of how they tried to take him down, and he knows all about the Matrix.
Because like Tristan's wee thing I seen the video, it was quite well put together. He was showing a bit of confidence, and he's quite well articulated, Tristan. And about he'd probably
he looks good. He dresses sharp. He looks good. He's presentable. He articulates well. He's much more. I think he's more measured than Tate seems to go on. Like, I think Tate's attraction, what gives him appeal is that he tends to go on fiery rants.
Yeah.
So he's got that charisma.
Yeah.
Where Tristan doesn't have the same degree of charisma, but he has more charismatic in his delivery.
It's like you've got a rock star, and then the manager that just, you know. We're both going in the same direction. He's doing it erratically. I know the bigger picture. So
none of them get in the office. What do you think happens to Trudeau?
Again,
so you just go back to Cuba, the homeland.
But it's like anybody. They resign and they just go into the wind. They'll be given another job in fucking Europe, or like you say, one of these.
Matt Hancock just shows up somewhere else.
Aye. And they all did it. Tony Blair fucked off to Europe and's made more money now than he ever did as Prime Minister. You know, it's almost like they get this job and they're just guaranteed a step up somewhere down the line. So again, if he's resigning, I don't think anything will happen. I think he'll just go into the wind.
What's the most outrageous version of events then? So what happens with the UAP, drone technology, Trump explosion?
Nothing.
It's the most outrageous version.
Oh, the most outrageous version.
So we've played.
We go full whack Mysterio. Fucking invasions, fake wars,
fucking off, send it,
terrifying. Fucking, we've got
holographic. Fucking, everybody's getting a different version. Nobody knows what day of the week is. Everybody's running for shelter.
Because like they did in Spider-Man, you know, you've got these fucking. It's happening in Venice, London, fucking wherever else it happened in fucking New York or whatever it was in the film, and I need to rewatch it. But we've seen how well a tool fear can be used as. Like, let's just look at COVID again. Yeah. Great tool. Yeah. If you've now got holographic, silent, flying, alien tech fucking drones, and you can create any image in the fucking sky, possibilities are endless.
I put out a tweet on X. I've been getting a bit more involved on X, and I said, like, when I watched Terminator 2, I didn't think in my lifetime I'd be seeing Skynet coming online. And you see the Chinese drone technology where they've got the display of the dragon coming out of the sky. And I was like, Skynet is online. But never did I think, when I was watching Terminator 2, the first iteration of Skynet coming online was memes. Gork is now producing memes for you.
Do you know there is a company called Skynet?
Fucking, what's their background?
I can't remember what they do, but I'm sure it is a tech company, yeah.
Somebody's got a sense of humour. A sitcom at that.
Skybet, not fucking Skybet. Skynet company.
Is it a fucking net technology company that stops the Chinese workers jumping up the way out the factory?
Skynet surveillance program.
No fucking no flies on them.
A surveillance program that has partnership with MIT.
Oh, that's exactly what we need. Great, that's superb.
So Skynet Innovations is an information technology consulting firm. Apparently it has over 10 years experience, so it's not fucking new.
Yes.
Skynet is a program by the US National Security Agency.
Oh, fucking, there we go.
That performs machine learning analysis on communication data to extract information. about possible ... So that's fun.
Oh yes. So what's your bonkers? We've got fully like what happens, right? The UAP anti-gravitic technology.
I think we go full Spider-Man Mysterio with it.
Is it Spider-Man Mysterio, or is it more like Independence Day? Motherships.
Aye, like more, because what was that?
Nefarious alien coming down to take over the planet.
Well, remember that paperwork? I can't remember if it was Operation Blue something. Fucking
Blue Book.
Is that the alien invasion?
No, Operation Blue Book was investigating the UFOs. Operation Paperclip was where they taken all the Nazi scientists and brought them over.
No, it's not that.
And
Because it went into action the last year or the year before.
Right, I don't know about
And
it.
it's to do with aliens and governments confirming the existence of aliens and shit. It was in America.
Yep.
Mine. Do you remember what I'm on
I know
about?
you're on about.
I can't remember what that was called. And this could be the next step where, Ken, if you've got these mad fucking drones and you can, like I say, like you can hologram the fucking mothership pulling over the.
Right, I'm gonna see your Mysterio.
Yep.
And I'm gonna raise it.
Okay, go.
Right. How about this for a bonkers one?
You worked on this?
No, it just came to me there now. Mysterio comes out.
Yep.
It's a whole show. We're going the whole Werner von Braun. They're going to fake a UFO an alien invasion to get a one world government. That was his deathbed confession.
Yep.
It's played out, like you say, Mysterio, but at the peak of civilization about to break.
Yep.
Out comes through the cloud an interference, and the real aliens arrive, and they're going, they are a fucking fraud. We're the real deal.
Aye.
And then the battle ensues. The real aliens win, and then they come and tell us a story by the fire of what really happened. And then the threat disappears and goes back under the rock it came from.
Right, and then what happens?
Well, we find out if we fucking were from Mars.
No, but I mean, like, so say this happens, we go through Mysterio, fucking alien invasions, aliens show up, and be like, this isn't us, this is bollocks. Topple governments. Then what happens? They tell us around the fire, this where we came from. Then what happens next?
We start again.
And then, do you think anything would be different down the line? Because obviously you need.
It never does. What happens is it's in a cycle.
Yeah.
So we get
This is the
we
thing,
rebuild. Everything's great. Optimism's high.
Like
everything begins again. It goes through the spring.
Like, defund this. Let's topple the government. Let's take and do what? Like, you would have to then just install another government.
I know it's out the frying pan at the fire.
Aye, it's like a new system would need to be created, but what? Like when we were talking about the banking system, to go to what?
You need another banking system. You need another form of transactional
and it's
method.
Ken, and as much as it would be great, like, this system's fucked, cool, but it is the only system that we have.
Yeah.
We have no other fucking system.
What about what happens with, give me your bonkers version of Elon Musk and Farage?
I mean, so say they make up. Say Farage gets on side,
right,
and Elon just bankrolls the correction of the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. And he wants to restore the United Kingdom. Restore it to when? To what point? When?
Is it like a fucking system update? It's like, we're going to go back, when your computer goes fucking doolally and you want to restore it to the previous version. Like, what one do they pick?
This is my thing, yeah. Like, how, like, we're going to make Britain great again.
Like
right,
Winston Churchill.
Like, guy, at what point? Because, like, we had this big empire. Cool. We done some shady shit to acquire it, though. Like, to make Britain great again to what?
Aye, I know. So what does he do? Reignite the British Empire.
The round table.
Elon's on the front. Elon's the figurehead on all the ships. The ships are controlled by fucking Starlink. Starlink, and instead of the Empire, they've boring tunnels between all their Empire. Instead of having the greatest navy, What they're doing is they've just got tunnel bored fucking Teslas with like Glasgow engineered tyres surviving the trip.
What would be funny, Ken, if he goes full North Korea, just gets Farage to get his foot in the door, takes over, shuts the borders, just becomes like the new fucking Xi Jinping.
Aye,
no, that's China.
The fucking Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
The Rocket Man. The UK turns into the fucking concentration camp of Europe.
Aye, just
we're like, fuck. So we've stopped the border, but the migrants can't even get in. But we, like, Davey Fipostle's moaning that he can't get to Benidorm and he's booked 2 weeks.
And he's raging.
He's gutted.
Just bought a new fucking Lacoste tracksuit to go.
He got his new sliders at the Barras for 15 quid. And now, like, where is he going to wear them in the next 12 months?
Oh, that would be funny though, eh?
Like,
just at the whim of whatever fucking crazy idea comes out Elon's head.
Right, so what's the bonkers version of what happens with Trudeau, Tate, Tommy Robinson and Aaron Lambo?
Nothing happens. Tommy serves his time. Trudeau. Oh, you mean bonkers?
Bonkers version. So Ant Middleton decides that the way to do it is they put them all, Trudeau, Stammer, Aaron Lambo and Tate need to do an SAS version to see who fucking comes out top.
I thought you were going to say do like a battle royale, kind of like put them on an island and last man standing wins. You get the chair to the throne.
No, it would be he would need to do the SAS who dares wins, like only the strongest survive. Tommy Robinson's starving because he's been in solitary confinement and on jail food. They've tried to crack him.
See if they did something like that, like who did? I think Tate's winning.
Think so.
Well, he's fit, strong. He's got a bit of grit about him.
Yep.
He's been a politician too long. He's going to be wet by New Year's. He's not doing very well at it.
Trudeau's got mummy problems. I tweeted that Trudeau has mummy problems and he wants to make up with his mother, but his mother doesn't even like him. Trudeau's backed himself into a corner where his mum doesn't even want to know him.
Is that a thing?
No, I just made
that. All right, just going to stir the pot.
Just comedy.
Imagine you run a country and there's some like news release that your mum's not happy with you and she's spoke to a reporter and be like, fuck him.
See, I grounded him and he never came back and we went to the WEF. Young Leaders Programme.
Ken, what? They've been awfully quiet recently.
This is what happens. They all go back under the step.
Fucking nothing for months.
They all go back under the rock. They wait till it chills out and then they re-emerge with a new plan. Look at what they did with COVID. Lockdown, it was all heavy, all big. Then it all dissipates. Then they come back in. And it's this wave with it in and out and in and out. And they give people enough time to let them forget, dissipate, get enough normality, and then they come back in with the next.
Well, apparently this year's going to be another pandemic. And this was this.
Mate, pandemic's so 2020. We're in your UFOs now. But like pandemics, like we're getting alien viruses, surely. It's alien lab technology. Like, see Wuhan's old tech, Victorian typewriter stuff.
But it worked. They made a lot of money. They will
Who do you need money? Like, what type of debit card do the aliens use?
Oh,
how contactless is it? How far away can you pay?
You don't have the gold card, you've got the Interstellar Platinum Plus.
Have you got like Paul the alien just fucking staring just staring at the contacts machine, just unlimited credit line from fucking Zeta Reticuli, just boom,
Republican credits,
buying everything out of flannels.
Just starts in there as
Paul's like, I like the clobber here. Paul needs a bit of Stone Island. He's going to get Stone Island up. He's want to look hard. He's going back in the ship and he's like, I am solid. I've heard this looks good.
Just a foreign Paul.
Aye.
He's ready to cosh some cunt.
He's ready. He's came to Mikey. He's like, tap me up. You've had to learn how to tattoo an alien.
Easy. I feel like I could achieve that.
So like, you came to the right guy. Oh, it's fucking wild, man. Wild. And I reckon Aaron Lambo is the first guy to auction off a UFO.
You forgot you said Lambo. I don't know. I think he could give Tate a run for his money on a he who dares win thing.
I think he would give him a good run for his money. But Aaron Lambo, I reckon, is going to be the first guy. In a bonkers edition of this, Aaron Lambo auctions off the first UFO.
A mental edition.
A mental edition. He is the first guy to put up a raffle of a UFO that you can buy a ticket for fucking £2. We're having a mental auction.
Not just any UFO, a mental UFO.
A mental UFO. It's been mentaled up.
It's been.
So it's a UFO with a hamster on it.
It's mental hamster thing.
Oh, mate, the world's wild.
He's coming back to the UK apparently. He's reopening his gym, I heard. Yeah, I don't know why he shut it, to be fair, like.
I don't know why he's got to come back now.
I know, it's fucking...
What a time.
But he's reopening the gym and I don't know why he shut it all down. He closed everything, fucked off. But I don't know why. I never ever got a wind of why.
Who knows? It'll all come out in the wash. Well, mate, we'll see what happens. It's been great having you on. I've thoroughly enjoyed just going on a wild ride. I don't know how we tell people how to prepare for this one.
Just buckle up.
Aye, buckle up, buckle in. Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. This is a what's going on right now. It's been bonkers. We've went everywhere. What's the questions that we've covered off tonight? What happens with tech billionaires? Who's wading in? Will the UK government step up and do the right thing ever? Will we see a social media celebrity get into office? What happens with the UFOs, the UAPs, the technology? What happens when Trump gets into office? What happens with Epstein Island and everything in between? Time will tell. We've covered off what we think's going on, what's the outrageous versions of it, and what happens in between. So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We took a break from the mindset stuff because we just need to find out what is going on and just open up the discord around it. If you made it this far, well done. We look forward to hearing the comments on this one. It should be something. Let us hear what you've got to say. We're going to get a bit of a buzz about what's going on because I think having a chat about these topics is pretty the first step in developing a bit of open-mindedness about what we do from here and how we can take a bit of action. And we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And from me and Mikey this week, that's a wrap.